Welcome back to the Terps esports stream. My name is Gumi, aka Alex, and I'm joined with...
I'm Tomas. You can find me at Dormat.
And we are here today for the NECC finals between University of Maryland to Overwatch Premier and the College of William and Mary. This is going to be an amazing game.
Yeah, both teams coming into this undefeated, both in the regular season and, of course, in these playoffs. So one of these two teams is going to go home with a full undefeated season and the trophy first place, while the other team is going to come up with still second place, but considerably less.
Look, both teams working extremely hard to be here. It is definitely an honor to be in these finals, and I am just so glad that we get to see and cast this kind of game today. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be one doozy of a game. I would be surprised if we don't make it to a game 5, and it's just going to be back and forth. These two teams are so strong, and they've been so dominant in their respective groups. So
it is important to mention that this will be a best of 7, so considerably longer than the series that we usually see. But before we get into all that stuff, I just want to take a second to talk about some recognition that's been going on, especially in the Terps esports organization. So today, Recwell put out some awards for Employee of the Year, and we just want to say a very special thank you to the people who were appointed that. So Tomas, right here, is our Employee Student Staff Employee of the Year. So thank you to everything that you do for our studio, and
yeah, no, it's an absolute honor. I'm just so happy that Terps esports, just everything has been going so well, and these teams have been so exciting throughout the entire year, and I'm just so glad that we've been able to do this for the players. And yes, I do a lot in front of the camera, but I also got to shout out Erica. Does so much in the background, not only keeping Terps esports where they are, but always doing so much for the background, including we're going to be going to a big esports tournament, and I think she had a huge hand in that. Stuff like that is all possible thanks to her, so definitely need to shout her out as well.
Yep, big thank you to both of you guys. Very well deserved recognition. Yes, Erica was also Recwell Employee of the Year. So thank you to both of you guys. And yeah, so before we get into game, we're going to conduct a little bit of a pre-show interview with, I believe, our Flex support player Pumpkin. So without further ado, let's bring him on.
Yes. Hello, Pumpkin. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, you excited to be here?
Absolutely.
Yeah, grand finals. I know that you guys put a lot of work, not only playing all of these games, but a lot of practices and scrimmages as well. Do you guys think that you've put in the work to bring you guys through this game?
Yeah, I definitely think we have the possibility to win this. We've got a really strong roster this year. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I know that last season your performance wasn't quite at the level that it is now. What do you think is different this season?
Well, we've got two major differences. One, this semester we have Speep. Last semester we didn't have Speep, but now we do, and that's a big benefit to our team.
Yeah.
And we also have a new coach. Coach Metal has been helping us so much. He is like the absolute best coach we could ask for. He's just awesome.
Yeah, no, I've only heard good things about him, and Speep is a high whale, so definitely could see how that could influence it. And I know you spend a lot of time playing these games, and what does it feel all of those hours, and your specialty is just Lucio?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a Lucio one trick, but that's because Lucio has been so strong in the meta for basically the entire time I've been competing on Overwatch, and I've been pretty good at Lucio, so I end up getting put in Lucio jail all the time. But honestly, I enjoy it in Lucio jail because he's my favorite character and my best character by far. So I'm having a great time, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. If we're spilling our guts, I love to see you on Lucio as well. Always getting those big boobs.
Very nice to hear.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll be seeing some great stuff out of you on that Lucio today, as well as from the rest of your team. So I think that's gonna be us for from the studio until we get into that game. We'll see you guys just after this.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural Ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Terp Adventures. Take flight at STAM. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body. Feed your mind. Feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance. Sing. Perform. Find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete, play, with wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the center for campus life, where Terp Adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be jumping into this game any second now. But I'm so excited. This is going to be such an exciting game. 100%.
I am really, really happy to be here and casting this game. Just to get a bit of a recap, like we said, this will be a best of 7. It is the finals, so a lot on the line here. NECC championships. I'm not too sure what the league is called, but like it's the highest one? Question mark.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
People are good.
Yeah, they're going to be. We're going to be seeing some of the top of the line Overwatch 100%. And on top of that, I want to talk about the fact that it's best of 7. So Terps esports normally take a little bit of time to get online, whereas so normally that now that we have a best of 7, they're gonna have just basically an extra round to have that warm up that they normally have. But we're getting right into this game. We're gonna be seeing an Orisa versus the Ramatra competition coming out. Infectious on that Ramatra, and they're just gonna go straight to point, just go all the way around. That's gonna give them a little bit of an advantage, as if both teams just kind of hold the space and create a little bit of no man's land, UMD is going to have the point.
Oh, Immortality Field comes out, Speed gets super pressure, but the Immortality Field is absolutely perfect, and they're gonna kite this. They're gonna kite that absolutely perfectly and take out the Orisa, but Jakeesis will get traded out for it. It's a 4v4 on the point right now, and Terps does have control of the point. They're going to push forward with this speed, take out the Sojourn. Absolutely perfect push and pull coming out from the Terps right now. Speed going to take out the enemy Tracer, and they are going to send William & Mary back to their spawn and win the first fight of this best of 7.
Yeah, UMD did lose Jakeesis early in that fight, but fortunately, losing that tank presence of that Orisa just was such a damper on William & Mary. And now, on top of that, Jakeesis on that Tracer was able to get back very quickly, certainly much quicker than that Orisa. So all in all, UMD is going to be able to take that first fight and already rack up around 35% of their ultimate. Orisa making her way all the way at the point, but the window is coming down, so that's going to be a huge amount of damage coming out from her.
Gosh.
Is she going to be able to get the sustain she needs?
Though she is getting absolutely melted right now, but she is going to live even through the window. The Kiriko ult coming up from William and Mary being absolutely huge, and Moose is going to get booped off the map by the spear. The B is going to come out for the Terps, and it's a 4v5 on the point right now. Can they clutch up? Speed's going to pop the ult, but get taken out by the Pulse Bomb. Infectious will trade out the Orisa, and it's just up to Jaquizis, Infectious, and Pumpkin just to stall at the point, but alas, the point is going to be taken over by William and Mary, and look at this. Jaquizis is going to find the Tracer while Infectious falls on the point. The Pulse Bomb's going to come out. Not going to find anything. Recall. Can he get this 1v2? He's going to get the Mega. He's going to get 2. Jaquizis is coming up absolutely huge in this fight, but he's going to return to the point and find no one from his team there. He's going to try to take this 1v1 with the Lucio, but Speed getting unnecessarily pressured right now by the Orisa. Moose, once again, coming in clutch, saving his Sojourn, but it is not going to be enough. And this back and forth is going to result in William and Mary finally stabilizing on this point. And
yeah, as
oh my gosh.
As both of the DPS fall on Terps Esports, they're just going to have to back up and regroup. And unfortunately, they tried to fight that point for a long time, hoping that they could flip it back. But all that time, William and Mary was just taking up. So they're already at 50% now. And Terps Esports only has 1 or 2 more fights to get control of this first point.
Yeah, now UMD just looking to run forward with this Ramatra Annihilation. That is exactly what they're going to do. He's going to walk forward with his arms up. But William and Mary doing a very good job of cutting out the ult, but now UMD has all the space. The beat comes out from William and Mary, going to give them all the engage, and UMD smartly backs off. They know that they don't have the health to take this engagement, and look at this push and pull. Now we're going to see both support ults, both main support ults coming up, both the Baptiste and the Kiriko ult coming up from both UMD and William and Mary respectively. They're going to have huge impacts on this fight, and oh, Jaquizis is going to get taken out with the pulse spam off camera, and now through this window, Speep is desperately looking for picks, and he finds one, peeking the window. Terrible decision there, but the Orisa is going to come out, and they're going to be able to kite it, and Speep takes out the Orisa, but unfortunately, Moose falls to the Tracer. It's now a 4v4, I believe, on this point, and William and Mary, 97% on the point. They're going to choose to take a retreat and take another fight.
Yeah, again, we just see that Orisa going down, and that's all of the offensive backbone for this team. As soon as she goes down, it's very, very difficult for any of the players from William and Mary to hold that front line, just because of how much damage UMD has on their side, especially with the range from that Baptiste. But we're seeing the beat come out from Pumpkin now as UMD runs back on the point. Unfortunately, we are going to lose Jaquizis, but we're seeing the overclock come out from Speep, and that could be huge if he's able to find somebody. There goes not Pumpkin, the other Lucio. Coming out from William and Mary, and she's going to go down, but unfortunately, Infectious and Pumpkin get traded themselves, and now the timer's ticking up 99% for William and Mary, and there's nobody there to touch, so I think William and Mary are going to be taking this first point.
Yeah, and the Terps is desperately trying to stall, switching onto these stall characters. Jaquizis on the Tracer, just desperately trying to get touches, and he will fall. And look, now it's Moose with the next touch. Can he touch? Overwatch time, Overwatch Wick. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Overtime Wick ticks down. And the first round goes to William and Mary.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the communication just wasn't quite there. I don't know if they thought that Infectious was going to be able to get onto point in time, or I don't know what happened. But unfortunately, I think that Moose should have been able to get onto point with the Marva step. So, granted, she would have died immediately, and it probably would have ended in nothing. But a chance is better than nothing. So
it's true.
But UMD going into this next point, and again, like we said, they always kind of stumble through these first couple games. I don't know if it's just like a warm-up thing, or if they're downloading the playstyle and getting their adaptations ready. But I'm sure we're going to be seeing a stronger Terps Esports in these coming rounds and games as well.
Yeah, I believe what they call that in the Smash Bros. Community is getting the download.
Yeah.
So I do believe the Terps are getting the download on this one. And here we go into Control Center for our next map. Speep, perhaps playing a little bit too aggressive, is going to get taken down, but the enemy Orisa drops dangerously low. The cleanse is coming out from both sides as UMD keeps up the pressure even without Speep. It's a 4v5 right now on the point.
Yeah, that Orisa is still so low out of William and Mary, but it looks like they're finally going to be able to stabilize, while Infectious is going to be the Orisa going down in this fight, as UMD is now just forced to back up. There's no way that they'll be able to take on a head-on-head interaction right now down a tank.
That was crazy. Speep just... I guess William and Mary just got to the point a little bit before Terps and were able to take a better position and punish Speep for playing perhaps a little bit too aggressively. But here we go into a second fight. Don't count these players out.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing just a main push, but look at Pumpkin. Pumpkin and Chiquita going for the flank, looking to see if they can catch a player off guard. They're going in now, and that Tracer falls dangerously low, but the enemy Lucio is going to come in for the assist and keep them alive, fortunately. And we're seeing now the Kitsune Rush coming out from William and Mary, forces Terps Esports to just back up, and but they have their own Kitsune Rush to re-engage. And the Orisa, again, out of William and Mary, just falling so low. Are UMD going to be able to find the Pulse Bomb stick? And she's going to go down. That's going to be a huge advantage for Terps Esports.
Absolutely huge coming out from Chiquizas, and now it's time for cleanup. He takes out the Lucio, and UMD importantly gets control of the point before looking at these last few kills, and they are just going to chase them back to spawn. And I just want to talk about Infectious there on the Orisa. He actually ate the enemy pulse bomb in the middle of that fight. That is crazy to do with Orisa, especially with the low cooldown of her E.
William and Mary tried to do the exact same thing that Terps Esports were able to do, but Infectious is one step ahead. And so because of that heads-up play, UMD is going to be able to take the advantage. And as now they're taking up to 30%. We see the overclock coming out from that enemy Sojourn, so we beat out of Pumpkin is going to counter it. And we see the Terra Surge coming out from Infectious is going to be able to find that Lucio, and all the rest of the players from William and Mary crumble like dominoes, and that's going to be another fight win for Terps Esports with only those 2 ultimates. It's a huge fight.
That was crazy because William and Mary also committed 2 ults. They committed the overclock with the Sojourn and the Lucio beat. Dying with Lucio beat is absolutely huge. And I just want to say, amazing beat from Pumpkin, knowing that they had to go as soon as that overclock was popped, and they do, and it's just an amazing fight win.
Yeah, speaking of overclock, keep in mind that Speep has his active, and there's no beat coming out from William and Mary to counter it. We see another stick from Chiquizas going to take out the Orisa, and Terps Esports just continue to push up. There's a beautiful shot from Speep going to take out that enemy Lucio, and now 70%. William and Mary are on their last legs of this map.
Yeah, we're looking at last fight territory here for William and Mary, but they are going to be coming in with both the Arisal and the Kiriko ult, as well as the Pulse Bomb, while Terps only really has their Kiriko ult. So it's going to be quite hard for the Terps to win this fight, and here comes the enemy Kiriko ult.
Yeah, Terps Esports backing up a little bit, just trying to stabilize, but beautiful shots from Chiquizas going to take out the enemy Tracer, a little bit of a Tracer diff, and the Kitsune Rush are going to come in, and that's going to allow Terps Esports to burst right through that Orisa ultimate and just gun her down before she can even get that off. Lucio is going to fall down, and it's just this Kiriko. She's not even going to touch, and that's going to be round 2 going to Terps Esports.
That was absolutely nasty. Just Terps knowing that all they have to do in that situation is back out of the enemy Kiriko and play their own Kiriko. It is. You can tell these guys know how to play the game.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they're doing such a good job, specifically of waiting out those ultimates from William and Mary. Not just that, but knowing when they need to invest their own ultimates versus when they can just back up and wait for those ultimates to go down and then re-engage. And I think that was the tipping point for what allowed them to take that second point. And we're going to Game 3 now. Terps Esports is already looking fully online, and this can be very, very dangerous from William and Mary. If they let Terps Esports get the momentum now, they might not be able to stop it.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to see. Just perfect ebb and flow, perfect push and pull, and it's just, it makes me a little giddy thinking about it. I love it so much. And we can hear the noises of the third map going on right now in our headphones, but we can't actually see it. Yeah. So I'm assuming there's some technical difficulties going on, so please bear with us. But if Terps can just keep up this momentum, I think they'll just do so much better. And here we are.
Yeah, we're back, and Pumpkin gonna get a boom onto the enemy Lucio.
Oh my God.
This is exactly what we were talking about in our interview. He's just so good, so comfortable with those mechanics. He knows Lucio inside and out, and he's gonna get a little bit of a Lucio diff to show. But speaking of diffs, Speep pushing out a little bit too far maybe, and he's gonna fall for it. But fortunately, William and Mary is pretty far from point, so Speed might be able to regroup with the team before any of the other Terps Esports members go down. Orisa just needs to hold down this line, and if there's one thing Orisa does well, it is survive.
Yeah, and here it comes, the survival of Orisa. But that doesn't mean that the William and Mary Orisa is going to survive for as long as Infectious does, and she will get taken out, and Speed takes out the Tracer, Chiquizas takes out the Lucio, and oh my
Speed looked a little angry maybe coming back on that engage, as he's gonna get 3 for that in a fight where he was the first person to go down, and I think that really just goes to show, like we were talking about, Speed another shot.
What were you saying about the diff?
You know what? I think Speed might have heard me, and he's got some choice words or perhaps some choice shots to clap back. So yeah, Speed is just on a tear right now, and this is what we're talking about. Terps Esports is just so good at not letting a lost fight be lost.
Yeah, like Speep dying there, and UMD just somehow bring it back from the brink, but that doesn't mean that they can bring it back from... Well, can they bring it back from the brink? 2 times in a row, Jakisa is going to be the first one to fall in this fight. They are going to have the ults to show for it, and out comes Moose's Kiriko ult. Out comes the beat to save Infectious, and Infectious with the Terror Surge is going to take out the Tracer, but will fall soon after. It's now a 4v4, and Speep, he wants to win this fight. The Pulse Bomb in the back will take out the Sojourn. Overclock in the front, focusing down the Orisa. Will take out the Lucio. How did he hit that shot? Will take out the Orisa. Oh my gosh, he's going... mad lad right now,
and he doesn't even care. He's just focused in, and this is the Terps Esports that you do not want to play against. Sometimes they're a little bit silly, but there are no shenanigans going on right now. Terps Esports just want to win this game and bring home that finals victory. As we are going to see a touch coming out from that Sombra, but she's just going to go down for it. William and Mary now forced to win a 4v5, but they do have several ultimates to their name. They're going to lose a couple of players on that Terps Esports side, but they got 99% to 0, so they're still looking very, very good.
Yeah, not exactly what you want to see. Losing the fight after the overtime touch, pretty much a 4v5 being lost there, not really what you want to see. But at the end of the day, that is most of William and Mary's ultimates being invested, except for that Lucio beat. And even though the Terps don't have a beat of their own or really any ults to show for it, it's one fight territory. It's just one fight.
I just want to talk about that, by the way. I'm pretty sure that Lucio kill was actually a collateral through the Orisa. So huge stuff from Speep on that fight 2 fights ago, able to bring Terps Esports to that 99%. The Orisa's falling so low again, forcing the beat out without, I don't think, any ultimates coming out from Terps Esports, which is huge because, you know, beat is supposed to be such a powerful ultimate, shutting down anything else that the team might be using. So we're going to see the engage from Pumpkin now as we see several ultimates coming out from Terps Esports. We're probably going to see them ripped, and Speep is just going to be able to take down the Lucio before the Pulse Bomb is even able to get the kill themselves. And with the Kitsune Rush, there's just going to be no survivability on that William and Mary side, and that's going to be a fight win for Terps Esports. They're already at 99%. We can see the end of the map right here.
Oh, the spear on the Tracer was absolutely beautiful. And Moose getting his Kiriko ult from like 50% to 100 within the 30 seconds of that push and pull with the beat is just so good. And we're going to see the overtime wick tick down. And the first map goes to UMD.
Yeah, UMD is on fire right now. I don't remember the last time that they won Game 1.
Yeah.
And here they are in the finals. I mean, this is the most dominant Terps Esports we've seen all season, I think. And it's only Game 1.
It's only Game 1. And, you know, we say that we haven't seen them win the first control map, but we...
Was that an Ajax?
Was that an Ajax?
No way. Infectious.
Oh, Infectious.
Able to... actually, that was such a perfectly placed Orisa ultimate, getting the Lucio behind that little lip on the ceiling.
Like the ledge, yes.
Yeah, I think he was trying to beat away from the Orisa ultimate and hope to get it off after escaping, but... The lip just going to block him and keep him inside of that Orisa ultimate radius.
Yeah, sometimes it's the things that you just don't think about that really just mess you up. And, you know, maybe Infectious did that on purpose. Maybe he didn't. But it was still a pretty damn cool play.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the ult won the fight. So I'm sure if you ask Infectious, it was all game sense. Yeah, for sure.
It was all on purpose.
For sure, yeah.
It was all planned. Exactly. But, yeah, UMD looking so strong in these matches. And like I was saying earlier, we say that we haven't seen them win the first map, but that's really only in the playoffs because like we mentioned in the pre-show, we're currently 21-0 in maps, or you know, 7 games, 21 maps. We just haven't dropped a single map. So they've definitely won the first map a couple times. But in recent games, they just haven't been. So it's really good to see this coming out from the Terps. It's just...
Yeah, that really goes to show the level of competition that they've been playing against recently. But, you know, normally they play, you know, just trying to understand their opponents and play a little bit of a slower game. But here, I mean, they're just firing on all cylinders.
I know, it's absolutely beautiful to see. And honestly, I think it's really just like, maybe it's the adrenaline.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if you guys can tell, but from what I'm seeing, the enemy Orisa on William and Mary is always the one dying first.
Yeah.
They're always the one falling low first. And
yeah, the focus fire from UMD, I'm glad you bring that up, has been so good in this game. Just able to, you know, chunk through that Orisa, who normally has so much staying power, often even the last person to fall on a team. So Terps Esports able to just bait out all of those abilities, and then often ending with these sticks as well from Jaykeezus. I can't talk about that enough. I mean, we saw so many fights end with just landing that bomb onto the Orisa, taking her down, and then it's just a cleanup crew.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see, and honestly, really big props to Jaykeezus. I mean, especially with new Orisa. I mean, not really new, but like Overwatch 2 Orisa. Now that she's got the additional skill expression with her E, with her whirlwind. Now that she can eat pulse bomb, it just adds a whole nother skill element to the matchup, and it's just Jaykeezus is playing it absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have said it better myself. And if we want to talk about playing well, I mean, Speep. He's doing Speep things.
Ooh.
I mean, how many shots did we see on that garden map? I mean, basically it felt like 2 or 3 fights.
For sure.
Just getting that opening pick and putting Terps Esports in a dominant position in those fights.
Right. And it's also something to say that Speep is probably the most consistent form of damage being outputted from the DPS, considering Tracer is just kind of harassing in the backline.
Yeah.
Which also goes to show, we talked about the Orisa damage, that's probably Speep doing most of that damage.
Yeah.
So, really well played to everyone.
Yeah, all of those headshots, just doing so much, and even if you have to gut through that Orisa's armor health pool, which of course gives her that damage reduction. I mean, it's just headshot after headshot after headshot, and even if you can sustain 1 or 2, get those abilities cycled out of those enemy supports, eventually the Orisa has just been going down. So yeah, great shots from Speed. The consistency that we know and love from him is absolutely there tonight, and the team is just playing so well.
Yeah, I think Pumpkin saying in the pregame interview that Speep was definitely has a big hand in their victories. Definitely has some merit to it. I mean, obviously, all these players just come on, guys, like they're just really freaking good.
Yeah, I mean, the best players on such a huge campus. You're not gonna get bad players. Absolutely not. We've got some of the best. I think. If I'm not incorrect, I think Moose at some point peaked at like 23 in the United States or North America or something. Yeah. So yeah, we've got some of the highest level players in the country playing on this team, and it really does show.
It's quite a spectacle, and I think most people would agree that like the mark of a good player is getting top 500 in all roles, and or maybe 1 or 2 of them. I do believe that all of our players have that.
Yeah, no, I've played casually outside of this competitive scene with some of these players, and sometimes it isn't really fun because it doesn't really matter what they do. They can't off roll and play down to my level. They're just good. They just know this game inside and out. Every little mechanic, every single little optimization. These players have them all down, and they're just so strong. So being able to see them now on their main roles, it's just a sight to behold.
Yeah, now I'm starting to think about the next map as we sort of hear in our headphones as things pick up a little bit. I believe it's hybrid. So that's, yeah. I mean, we're probably going to see King's Row, let's be honest here. But
yeah, it's certainly a favorite amongst these players. Unfortunately, I think Orisa is going to be Orisa's just been such a strong character in this current meta, especially with how strong Malga has the potential to be as well. Yeah. If we do see King's Row, I don't think that we're going to be seeing something, exciting like a Reinhardt Rush comp or even Ramatra. I think it's just going to be more of that Orisa, the Orisa mirrors. I know we saw Terps Esports trying to use that Ramatra in that first round, but opting just to play into the Orisa ultimate. So.
And we did get a little bit of information here. We are going to be going to Junkertown, actually. So I was just completely wrong. It's not even hybrid. It's actually Escort. My bad. But
yeah, I think it's normally hybrid for the best of 5s. But again, we're playing in that new best of 7. So that's I think that changes up the map rotation a little bit. But
for sure.
Junkertown, that's going to be a map where we're going to see Pumpkin on the Widowmaker. We've already seen
Pumpkin on the Widowmaker.
Oh, sorry, not Pumpkin. Sorry, Speed on the Widowmaker.
No, come on, Pumpkin, run the Widowmaker. Where is it?
Yeah, I know we saw Pumpkin on the Baptiste, but yeah, I don't think this is the map to bring out the Pumpkin hit scan. Speep on the Widowmaker. We already saw how consistent those shots are, and I really hope that we also see Jaykeezus on the Hanzo. We talked about it a little bit last time we were in the studio, that that Hanzo Widowmaker duo is just so powerful out of UMD. They're able to play with each other so well.
Yeah, they just complement each other so well. I know we talked about it last time, but I'll just reiterate, it is so important in that Widow 1v1 to have sights on the enemy Widow. And what does Jaykeezus do? He gets Speep those sights. He puts the sonar arrow right on that Widow every single time. And it just makes the 1v1 so much easier. And pew pew pew, Speep just takes it out. And we all go, oh, Speep. But really, it was Jaykeezus.
Yep.
Really kind of carried that play on his back.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good rundown of what we're about to see. And interesting to see William and Mary opting for a Tracer and a Brigitte.
You don't see Brig all that often. I'm interested.
Yeah, you don't see Brig all that often, and this is definitely more of a poke map than a dive map. I mean, I guess perhaps you know, 0.2 or 0.3 you might see a little bit of dive, but as certainly this first objective is very heavily tipped towards that poke side. So I'm interested to see what William and Mary has a little bit of you know, a novelty play that they've brought out for the final game.
Yeah, and I do think it's really interesting to see Tracer Sojourn on a map that just heavily favors Widow. You really don't see, I really don't see Tracer all that much in this map, and I'm very interested to see how it's going to work. And I think maybe they're employing this Tracer just to go harass Speep. They know that Speep is the main issue, but it's Jaykeezus, man. I mean, he's just going in on this Tracer and just hitting these shots, keeping her in check so that Speep can just work his magic.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, this is the problem when you're running, you know, a Sojourn and a Brigitte into, you know, a heavy poke map. And Speep gonna get the pick onto the Baptiste. That's a huge backbone for that William and Mary side, as they are able to trace out Moosey, but it's just not going to be enough as Terps Esports are running through this team, and they've cornered off, you know, 2 of these players. That should be 2 free picks for UMD if they're able to collapse well. That Sojourn's so low, but the Brigitte is going to get hit by that rock out of Tony.
Wow.
And just as Sojourn getting the Mega, and Terps Esports just keeps on pushing.
Those staggers are not what you want to see. The Brig going down extremely late, and then the Sojourn being stuck in the back line is just not what you want to see, and she's going to try to look for something, but oh my god.
You can't do that. That's not fair.
That's nasty, and now we're going to turn our attention back to the cart where the Immortality field has already been brought up, and the Sigma Flux is going to get cancelled, and Jaykeezus will fall. And now it's a 4v4. And look, there's the Tracer. Like I said, going to just go for Speep, and she will find Speep in this, but now Moose just totally unbothered. Clear skin, absolute transcendence right now, just firing on all cylinders in the back line. And will they cap? Actually, I'm a liar. I may have spoken way too soon.
Oh, it's such a close back and forth game, and now is Jaykeezus is gonna come in, gets the Dragon Strike onto the enemy Sojourn, and gets the pick onto the onto the Baptiste. But unfortunately, the rally coming out from that enemy Brigitte, maybe we spoke a little bit too soon, as they're gonna go down. And let's just look at this shot again. Oh, beautiful flag. But unfortunately, it's all a little bit for naught, as William and Mary able to get the hold at, I think it was like 2.18 meters.
Yeah, it was like 0.75 if I remember correctly, not too sure. And that's really tough, but at the end of the day, you do have 1.5 full minutes on the clock. Window comes out and forces William and Mary away from the position, just dangerously low, and look at the health in the Sigma. He just can't seem to get enough healing, especially with that Discord Orb, and just so much damage coming out from UMD, and down goes the Sigma, down goes the backline of the team. Out comes the Transcendent C3, taking out 2 in this fight. He will fall, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, UMD is going to be able, with Jaykeezus switching onto that Sombra, just able to disrupt that backline, and they're going to be able to get that 0.1 a little bit less time than they would have hoped to get on that timer, but still looking to have 3.5 minutes on that clock, which is a plenty good time being for that first point.
Something that we haven't really acknowledged right now are the swaps that have come up from Terps. We see Tony on that Sigma and C3 on the Baptiste, which are 2 characters that are like pretty much their signature characters for the team from what I know. And Jaykeezus getting caught out a little bit, but Speep answers back with a kill on that Tracer.
Yeah, and now with the Tracer down, you have to be really careful if you're William and Mary. If you peek out just a little bit too much, there is nothing on that on your team to harass the Widow, she's just going to have a free pick if you if you peek your little head. But we're gonna see another Flux coming out from Tony. He's gonna take out the Sojourn, not the Sojourn, the enemy Sigma, not allowing that cancel to come out this time. And with the as well that Sojourn going down, Trace is gonna short to follow, and it's just down to this Brigitte trapped in this little hallway. She's gonna go down. That's gonna be a team wipe for Terps Esports onto that William & Mary team, and Terps Esports is just on fire.
Yeah, that was a maybe like a minute?
Yeah, minute and a half
on second
maybe?
point, which is not something you see very often. I mean, second point is unnaturally hard to crack, especially with these like Sigma comps and all these long range. But Terps they just bulldoze right through it, and now they've got an EMP that might snowball into a 3rd-point capture.
Yeah, you have to be really careful if you're William & Mary, because that EMP is such a powerful ultimate. If you aren't prepared for it and it catches you off at the wrong time, you have no abilities. And a great stick coming out. Unfortunately, the immortality field comes out just a second too late, or maybe Speed ran out of it. I'm not quite sure, but he's going to go down even through it, and Terps Esports is going to be forced to back up. Fortunately, they didn't invest too much into that fight already, so they should be fine. We're going to see a hack onto this Tracer if she isn't careful, because of Speed coming back, deciding, I'm going to get my revenge, gets the kill onto Rifle, and Terps Esports is just running forward. We see the EMP come out. They're gonna get a kill onto the Sigma, and they're showing no signs of stopping.
Oh no, Chiquita's perhaps being a little bit too overzealous here as they push forward, looking for the pick on to that Sojourn. They're not gonna find it, and now here comes Brigida's revenge, popping the ult, just running forward. Perhaps this is the one time Brigida is good, and I actually do want to talk about the Brigida pick a little bit, because I think Brigida is probably the reason they lost that second point. Just because the Sigma Flux was able to come out relatively uncountered and just take down the enemy Sigma with little to no resistance.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, Rally is cool, but
yeah,
Transcendence
the Brigida definitely does offer, some utility to the team. The shield can be a damper on Speed. Of course, you can't shoot two shields. Moose doesn't care about any sort of shields. He's just going to find that Sojourn, the Flux coming out from Tony, going to be able to find that enemy Sigma, and they're just going to keep on pushing that card. They only need probably one good fight to cap at this point. Once you factor in, the time that William & Mary is going to take to recontest, and UMB has full control of this high ground. So William & Mary is definitely going to have to start digging into that, ultimate reserves if they want to hold on to this point.
Yeah, now we're going to see the 1v1, the Moose versus Tracer 1v1 on the point, and he's going to force the recall, which allows Jaquiza so much more agency, especially on his own Tracer. It just gives him all the much more space to just harass this high ground, get in front of the Sojourn, make it so she can't hit the shots that are necessary, and he will fall. But out comes the Transcendence and the Sigma Flux. Sigma Flux finds nothing, and Tony will take out the bat before the window can even be used. And look at this, a 4v5, and William & Mary is just struggling, and Moose takes the Tracer before she can recall. And is that going to be a full cap with 1 minute and 11 seconds left on the clock? It will be. Oh my god.
Yeah, what an explosive comeback into that fight from Terps Esports. It looked like, they lost that first pick.
What happened?
Something might have happened over there. Some shocked faces from the Terps Esports players. I'm curious what happened. But I think that they're just really excited, because there were some
looking at the
quality plays coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that they were just hyping each other up, and that's what you love to see out of this team. You can see that there's almost no nerves, even given how high stakes this game is. They're just playing the game that they love at the highest level.
For sure, it is definitely something to say for the mentality. I believe the term that I think, what did my dad used to say? Let me think. I think it's something along the lines of like, act like you've been there before, something like that, which definitely helps with like mindset and nerves and adrenaline. So
yeah, I know these players have competed before on the big stage in in-person events, and I believe they're going to another one this weekend. So they are no stranger to these high stakes games, and this might honestly be, compared to some of the higher stakes events that they've been to, a little bit of a cakewalk, and you can see that they really are just comfortable playing here. I know they've been in the studio so many times that this must feel like a second home to them at this point.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the competition coming up. If you do want to watch that competition, there is the Big Ten YouTube channel, which will be probably live throughout most of competition, which I believe is Friday and Saturday. So, tune in.
Yeah, I think it's also going to be streamed on the Ohio State esports team. So make sure you check out both of those socials. And a beautiful rock coming out from Tony, going to knock down the enemy Sigma, but unfortunately not quite going to be able to get that finisher. And you can see Speep just on the background waiting like a hunter, not quite going to be able to get that enemy Sojourn, but still so much pressure that he's exerting onto this William & Mary team, making it so hard for them to push out. Forces the immortality field, you know, without really much of an ultimate or utility investment from the Terps esports team. And I'm personally just waiting to see the kill feed. I'm sure that Speep is going to end up on one end of it any second now, but Moose going to be able to get that pick onto the Tracer, able to save Speep from that dive. And there it is. Speep going to get the shot onto the Sojourn. Came a little bit later than I expected, but I mean, Speep is here.
You know, it's so interesting because, you know, in the grand scheme of things, William and Mary are doing the right things. They're Sigma, Brig, and Bab are traveling as a group. They're walking high ground. They're making the space. But Speep and Moose just taking an off angle, which completely nullifies the advantage of William and Mary, and that's just what you love to see.
Yeah, absolutely. William and Mary now just opting to go for some sort of, you know, just going straight for the point. They're going to pop the window even, hoping to get some sort of advantage, but nobody from from Terps esports is going to go down. They do force the Transcendence though, and we see Jake Keys is all the way in that backline, going to be able to get that Sigma down even through the Brigitte rally, and Jake Keys is just toying with the Brigitte a little bit, using the Reflect, and he's just going to stay alive. Unfortunately, they do lose Speed, but they're going to get 4 for it, so I'm sure that, you know, Speed is happy to make that sacrifice for his team.
Yeah, Speed just kind of getting a little bit rolled there by the Sojourn, probably just a little bit of an emotional play, or, you know, just taking out the easiest target. But, you know, he'll come back, and now William and Mary using both support ults in that last fight, both the window and the rally, not really having anything to show for it. And now they have the overclock, the pulse bomb, and maybe even the Sigma Flux.
Yeah, meanwhile, over on Terps esports side, we're only going to see that Dragon Blade, but there's no defensive ultimates coming out from William and Mary, so Jenkins should just be able to slice straight through. He gets 2, gets 3, and is he going to be able to find the Sojourn as well, playing a little bit of mind games with the Reflect. Unfortunately, he's going to go down, but
wait, he killed her.
He's still able to get the Sojourn. I thought that we swapped over because he died, but he actually gets the kill.
That's a 4K.
That's 4 for the round, and that's going to be able to stop William and Mary fully in their tracks. I hope that we were able to see this Dragon Blade coming out. Again, just goes right through that Immortality field and is able to get 2. Here's the 3rd, and unfortunately, we're not going to see the Sojourn kill, but how does he manage to do that? He had overclock.
Coming from over the roof, just WWE style, slamming down on to William and Mary, and then perhaps it was a little bit unexpected. Speaking of unexpected, here comes the Sigma Flux. C3 and Tony getting lifted into the air. C3 will fall as well as Jaquizas, but Tony will live. And Moose, almost to that Transcendence, maybe can turn the tide of this fight, just pelleting people from the back line. And Speep, and Speep, and Speep. Speep finding one. 3v2. The Transcendence is going to come out for a little bit of stall, hoping that Speed can really find a shot in the midst of all this healing. He will get taken down. Yes, they both will fall. But 17 seconds left on the clock, I think you'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, when Terps got the cap, they had like almost 4 minutes on the clock, whereas William and Mary have under 3 minutes. So Terps esports absolutely in the driver's seat. They are going to lose that Baptiste, which means that the Sigma is probably soon to follow with no supports able to keep him up. He might be able to back up, but as he's getting pinched from all sides, and we're going to see the Brigitte rally, just, you know, making sure that they get the kill, making sure that there's no way Tony can escape with his life.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, rally for a stagger, not too sure if that's what you want to see, because look, the cart is so far back, and Speep takes out the enemy Baptiste, which is one of the most integral parts of this team comp.
Yeah,
I don't think William and Mary could take a fight.
Yeah, I completely agree. Once that Baptiste goes down, I mean, you've got Brig heals that might be able to keep up with one dive, but if Jaquizas goes in and, you know, just forces a couple of armor packs on a dive, I mean, you basically have no sustain left. And Speep with the walls active, is he going to be able to find this Baptiste?
Oh, they're diving him.
Yeah, and I love to see this team play. You can see that Speep is just waiting to see if Jaquiza is able to force that Baptiste into the out into the open. But keep in mind, also Tony still exists. He uses his gravitic flux. He's going to be able to find one. That enemy Sigma is so low, but he should be able to get up just with that those Brigitte healers. And we're going to see a stick from Rival onto Tony, but it's not going to find anything because of that immortality field. And Terps Esports needs to make sure that they touch. I mean, they're plenty healthy, but they're still nowhere near the cart.
Oh, Sojourn getting caught a little bit out of position there, and Moose will get traded out for that Sojourn. Now C3 is also going to fall, and UMD perhaps getting a little bit caught on that high ground, not being able to get back to the cart, and in mid-transition, they will get taken out. But out comes the Sigma Flux, an amazing force, especially in a 3v4, which is not really what you want to see if you're William and Mary, but UMD just opts to take that. They think, yeah, we forced you to use an ult, that's good enough for us. And now they're going to back up and take up defensive positions on this third ult.
Oh, a little bit of a question mark coming out from from Sojourn. Speed just saying resetting. I feel like Speed normally has a bit of a wittier comeback. I think that this team is just locked in. They're just trying to play for this win, and I mean, they're doing a great job so far with only a minute and 44 left on the clock for William and Mary. They would need to get a perfect push, basically wipe this team and keep 3 on the cart this entire time if they want to even match Terps Esports' timer on the clock.
Yeah, and out comes the overclock on the high ground to just put more pressure on UMD. Pulse bomb from Chiquizas comes out, takes out the immortality field, and drops the Baptiste dangerously low, although he will live thanks to the Brigitte packs. And the Sigma will be the next to fall.
Yeah, Chiquizas needs to be careful. He's a little bit out in the open, but he does, of course, have those blanks and that recall to get him out of any kind of sticky situation. Now that Terps Esports have been able to reset a little bit, like Speed was saying, they're just going to be able to group up and get 2 kills and continue running forward. They're able to find the third onto that Baptiste and almost their spawn, and still only 60 seconds left. Terps Esports already has the advantage if we end up going into overtime rounds, but they're looking so strong that we might not even get that far.
Yeah, perhaps William and Mary getting a little bit overzealous there. I'm not too sure what they are doing differently from UMD to not have the cart as far as UMD did when that fight happened. But regardless, out comes that window. The UMD aggression on top, and it's going to force William and Mary to play their sight lines and line them right up for the pulse bomb. The Tracer running into Chiquizas' pulse bomb. Not what you want to see if you're William and Mary. And now it's a 4v5. And Tony's going to pop the Sigma Flux. Focus down that Sigma, the Discord Orb working absolute wonders there. And it's basically going to just nullify the Amplification Matrix's value. And now Tony is just running forward. 10 seconds left on the clock, and William and Mary's dead.
Yeah, there's only 5 seconds left, and there's nobody alive to touch. We see the Doom Fist, but I mean, what's he going to be able to do? He's just putting up his fist. He's nowhere near pointed. He's just going to fall. And at this point, William and Mary is just trying to do whatever they can, just see if they can, touch the point, but it's kind of going to be for naught as this Lucio is going to fall as well. Kiriko is going to be soon to follow, and, Pulse Bomb waiting for anybody who decides to touch next. Sojourn is just going to go down, and eventually William and Mary is going to run out of bodies to throw onto this point as they are going to be taken down, and, I mean, Terps Esports is eating right now.
Yeah, I mean, literally and figuratively, if you will.
Yeah, they've just been doing so well, and we're going to see this Genji play of the game. I couldn't agree more. Coming down from the high ropes, like you said, like a wrestling match. Going to be able to find that first kill, as well as the second healer, the Sigma as well. Just waiting out the Sojourn. Unfortunately, we're not going to see what happened, but I mean,
that's not Chiquizas. That's Speed.
Wow, this is why we keep you around, Alex. That's the kind of commentary that we need. But
yeah, what can I say, guys?
Yeah, no, UMD is playing so well today.
I'm jazzed. I honestly forgot that we attacked.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, the match is over. But well, yeah, 3-2 defense on Junkertown. Not something you see every day. I mean,
yeah,
Junkertown usually one of those maps that we see full completions on both sides. And
yeah, it's very easy to bring momentum into that, into that last point, getting around. Especially interesting to see, a lost fight coming out from Terps Esports, and then they're just able to regroup immediately, not lose much ground. I don't think the cart even got to around that bend. So, yeah, just really a full hold onto that last site is very, very impressive.
Yeah, I'm honestly very impressed by Terps. Just it's probably a little bit with communication. I mean, like you said, they have a plan and they stick to it, and it makes makes them play super, super quick. And maybe William and Mary is getting a bit caught off guard or whatever it is. But like you said, they barely got around the first bend of Junkertown. And all rest is history.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what they could possibly have in store to stump Terps Esports. I mean, the Terps have already shown that they can match William and Mary's brawl. We saw that on Lijiang Tower, the Aristamir went in the favor of Terps Esports, and now they showed that they have the stronger poke as well. So, maybe we see a dive map, maybe we see Numbani, but I mean, it feels like we might be seeing a little bit of panic come out from William and Mary now. They have to find something.
I think it's funny that you mentioned that because I was actually a little bit privy to some of the, what do they call it? Information gathering, I believe. It's not stalking, it's information gathering. On this enemy team, William and Mary. And I do believe one of the things that they noticed was that they do prefer to run a Winston, the Winston Kiriko Lucio, which is a very typical dive comp. So I think you might be right in that we might be seeing some sort of dive favored map. I'm not too sure if we're going to see Flashpoint next, if we're going to see Hybrid or whatever, but I would say watch out for the dive.
Yeah, especially I think if we're going to see like a hybrid map or something like that, we could definitely see some Winston coming out. Although I am curious, since I'm assuming they had map pick, why they didn't go like Route 66 or one of those more diveable maps. So
that is true.
I'm really curious to see what we have in store for the back half of the stream, but for now, we're going to take a little break here in the studio. We'll see you guys just after this. Welcome back. We are into Game 3 now, and I think we're going to be going right into Junkertown. Or sorry, not Junkertown. The other Junkertown map, New Junk City.
Yeah, New Junk City. And I see a Cassidy. Interesting. And a Zarya. Not things you see too often. But if I know Tony and if I know Skeep, I know they can definitely make it work. Here comes the first engagement.
Yeah, these are really the characters that I believe these players are just most comfortable with. Only comfort picks, but unfortunately that might not cut it. Lucio is going to be able to find that pick onto Speed to start the engagement, and Jakita is going to get taken down by the enemy Tracer, but it's still a 3v2 now, 2v2. Pumpkin able to find that Sojourn, and it's just Tony and Pumpkin. Are they going to be able to find anybody?
Oh my gosh, Pumpkin.
A rival floating through the sky. I don't know quite how he got there, but Tony's going to make sure that he gets down, and they're going to take the first point. Or, sorry, the first fight.
Yeah, oh my gosh, Pumpkin. He's a little grainy, but I definitely something to say for his play there, because Tony dropping dangerously low against that Tracer, and the boop from Pumpkin just being enough to make it so that the enemy Tracer could not kill Tony, and that's just perfect.
Yeah, we're seeing why Pumpkin was saying, just how strong Lucio is, in this current meta, and how strong he's always been. But unfortunately, Jakita is going to go down in this fight, early in this fight as well, and that's going to put Terps in a little bit of a back foot. It's going to allow William and Mary to just walk through onto that team. Because they don't have that pesky Tracer in the backline, they're going to be able to flip the point as they lose Sweep as well. But Terps Esports not forced to fully back up. They still have a lot of offensive pressure with that, potential Graviton Surge, as long as Tony stays alive here and getting so much damage onto that.
Here it comes.
Yeah, onto that.
Oh my god, it's a 3-man ult, but everybody just dies. It's so unfortunate.
Yeah, such a fat grab coming out from Tony, but unfortunately, I think we saw a cleanse come out from that enemy Kiriko, going to keep everybody alive and healthy, and so Terps Esports are going to fall for that instead of being able to punish it, and they're forced back to the drawing board, 50% ticking up for William and Mary now.
Yeah, now I think Speep has realized that there's no fun in competitive Overwatch, and he's just going to switch onto that Pocket Sojourn. What can you do? But now Terps do have more ults on their side. Good cleanse coming out to save Speep from that pulse bomb. I do actually think he would have died. And here comes the battling Kiriko ults. Who will come out on top?
Yeah, that Kiriko Sojourn combo so powerful, able to boost up that that high charge railgun just so quickly. But we're going to be seeing, if you want to talk about high charge railguns, an overclock coming out from the enemy Sojourn, but a stick coming out from Jaquiza's Ramatra is going to be able to put up his fist and say, I don't want to take that much damage, and he's just not going to. But Terps Esports is still able to stay alive just for a little bit, but Tony is going to go down through a full collapse from that William and Mary side.
Oh.
Pumpkin is going to be able to get the flip onto the point as they're taking all the way up to 95%, but there's not really much of a Terps presence if they want to get this flip back.
I do believe that Jaquizas will get this touch. He will, and he'll be able to recall out. The Tracer from William and Mary is on the way back from spawn as well, but I think they just decided that they're just going to give it, move on to the next point, and yeah. That's first
Jaquizas
point.
probably could have touched again if he wanted to, but without the recall, it would have just been a death sentence, and I don't think anybody else from Terps Esports was in a position to get the touch anyway, so they opt to just try to get some some good positioning onto the second map. Pumpkin utilizing that movement, able to get that healing up onto that Tracer, who is all the way on the high ground, and coming back now to the rest of the team, and we're seeing that overclock coming out from Speep now. The headshot machine, is he going to be able to find anybody? Looks like just a lot of space, but he's actually going to fall to that enemy Tracer, and with Jaquizas falling as well, Terps Esports might just have to back up now and regroup, hoping to, if anything, save that charge on Zarya.
Yeah, I do believe that he's going to get with most of his charge, and Moose trying to escape the Ramatra. They do look like William and Mary just like they want to continue this fight. Out comes the grab, finding, oh my gosh, lucky shot, finding the Ramatra, but it is the Kiriko that is going to fall. And Jaquiza is on the Reaper, pushing against this Ramatra. Close range Reaper, you do not want to be Ramatra in this situation. And even though they started down at the end of that fight, they're going to use William and Mary's perhaps overzealousness to just waltz back in and take the point capture.
Yeah, William and Mary ended up trying to go for that risk of staggering that Zarya, which is especially important because Zarya with that high ultimate charge just so not ultimate charge, sorry, just normal charge, just does so much damage, but they end up falling for it because Tony is able to get the high ultimate charge instead, and we're going to be seeing a Kitsune rush coming out from William and Mary, forcing Terps Esports to just back up. We've seen how well that they're able to do that, and they have a Kitsune rush of their own coming up probably any second now. Jaquiza is just taking that fight against that enemy Ramatra, who's getting a beautiful shot onto the Tracer, going to shut her down again.
Moose just having this Tracer's number. I do believe this is like the second or third time that he has successfully 1v1'd her. And speaking of successfully 1v1ing, we see the Zarya just waltzing onto the backline and taking out that Kiriko, and the Sojourn falls before the beacon come out. The annihilation on the point, Jaquizas will fall, but I do believe that the rest of the team has enough firepower to take out the last few members of William and Mary, and that's 3 whole ultimates, and this fight loss.
Yeah. No, a huge fight coming out from Terps Esports. They're not even using an ultimate for it. They have almost 5 ultimates online, which is insane. I mean, remember that the Kitsune Rush came out from William and Mary in the beginning of that fight, so Terps Esports had plenty of time to respond, just chose not to, and it ended up paying out in spades as they have a huge advantage going into this next fight. Only the Pulse Bomb on William and Mary's side.
Yeah, absolutely huge, and we probably can see some combos coming out with that Kiriko Rush and the Reaper ult. They want to take this fight close range, and as you can see, there's the Reaper ult. Out it comes, Bubble comes down as well. They're going to look to focus that Ramatra, but it finds the Lucio somehow. I don't know how that works, but Jaquiza's going to fall to that railgun, but I think Tony with the high charge will have enough firepower to take out that Ramatra. And now it's just a matter of cleanup in the grab, perhaps a little bit too much.
Yeah, this is some classic Speep. I don't want to, rehash what happened last week, but we're seeing a little bit more of that. So, sorry, that was a grab coming up from Tony. But
I see what you mean.
Terps Esports is still able to, have both that ultimate advantage. We see the Kitsune Rush and not Pulse Bomb, the B coming out for their side, and we're going to be seeing that continuing rush coming out. Is it going to be able to find anybody, not immediately off the bat, but I spoke a little bit too soon. They're able to find that Tracer and just fully back up the site. They've got so much space and already 50% and counting, and they're still waiting for that Tracer to come back.
Yeah, William and Mary obviously initiating a retreat there as soon as they heard the Kiriko ult, but clearly not fast enough as... Oh, the dive from the Reaper. And the Tracer will be enough to take out the Sojourn. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely huge. Just 71%, 72% tick up on the second point. I don't think William and Mary has a response, especially with their Sojourn being back in spawn.
Yeah, they might be able to touch, but the Sojourn is so far away in their spawn, and, you know, Flashpoint ticking up so quickly that I don't think that she'll be back in time for the fight. They're just going to have to fight this down 45. We're going to see the continuing rush coming out, but, you know, Lucio now having that beat, so should be able to fully shut down William and Mary. They are going to be able to find Speed. Through that beat, he probably, you know, either didn't find her. Some great focus fire from William and Mary. A pulse ball coming out, but Tony, I love that reaction time, able to keep Pumpkin alive, and they're just going to back up. They have full charge on that Zarya. If they're able to back up, they're going to go into this next fight very, very healthy. So this could be a great position for Terps Esports if they're able to escape, and it looks like they might just be able to do exactly that.
The ultimate advantage being lost is a little bit sad, but at the end of the day, 99% on a Flashpoint, I believe he will take it.
Yeah, and, you know, William Mary is only at 30% with this fast regroup that Terps Esports was able to muster up. They probably have, you know, 2 fights on this point, and, you know, they have, I would say, the ultimate advantage as well. We see the pulse bomb coming out against only that Sojourn Overclock. We are going to see the Ramatra Annihilation coming out soon, but here comes the Overclock. Isn't going to be able to find anybody. Terps Esports backing up. They've got that Lucio speed boost. They got them around the corner, but Streep is going to die to that Ramatra. We see the Death Blossom coming out from Jaquiza. Doesn't find anybody, but they do get that Ramatra out of position, forces that ultimate, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to get the kill, and 80% ticking up. It's going to be very, very close whether or not they have another touch.
Yeah, that Reaper ult just really... You know, it was good. It definitely separated the Ramatra and his backline, but Ramatra just never dies. So, especially with his ult and his shift. But out comes the Kiriko ult, out comes the grab, out comes the beat. There's so much going on right now. Terps are going to opt to drop to the point. Tony dropping dangerously low, but in this Kiriko ult, the Kiriko heals are so much, and the Pulse Bomb is going to find 2 on the side of UMD, and Tony will find the Tracer before falling himself, and it's kind of a disaster right now, as UMD will be sent back to the drawing board, and that's the second Flashpoint going over to William and Mary.
Yeah, no, that was a huge pulse bomb, able to find 2 supports. And, I mean, with a pulse bomb like that, you basically win the fight immediately. So, Terps Esports are going to, like you said, lose that 3rd round on this map. But still, they only need to win, you know, 2 rounds in a row. Not impossible, but certainly an uphill battle.
Yeah, uphill battle, you know, like the new ranked system. And UMD only having 1 ult as the same is with William and Mary, but the difference is it's the Kiriko ult versus the beat. I am curious to see how both these teams are going to choose to use these ults, and Tony's going to make the swap off of Zarya onto the Ramatra. Ramatra just giving you so much value, and Jaquiza, who is now on that Tracer. Both teams kind of switching back and forth from these 2 characters. They know this fight is lost. They've lost Jaquiza's. They've just decided to say, screw it, we're just going to die. And, you know, Speep is going to find the exit kill onto the Tracer, but at the end of the day, Tracer comes back really quick, so I don't know if it's really going to find much.
Yeah, great heads-up play from Pumpkin, realizing, you know, even though this continuing rush comes out and I could technically counter it with my ultimate, there's no point. Let's just save it for a better fight. And Tony falling so low. I think under 100 health from down from 500. Very, very dangerous. As if he goes down, I mean, there's no fight. You need your tank to be alive if you want to engage. And we're going to see that beat drop coming out from Pumpkin, but it's not going to be enough to keep Moose alive. And Terps Esports needs to regroup now if they want just 1 more fight. They're going to be able to find that enemy Ramatra, but Tony so low is going to end up going down to a well-placed headshot from the Kiriko. And 70%, Terps Esports needs to regroup if they want to fight again.
Yeah, most members are going to be able to get out here, and they really only invested the beat, but that doesn't stop William and Mary from creeping up on 4 ultimates. This is looking pretty dangerous because the Terps do have ults of their own, but it's last fight territory. It's the last fight on this 3rd Flashpoint, and out comes the Overclock. Will he be able to find anything? The beat comes out, and he will get taken down. He will get absolutely focus fired, but Jaquiza's in the back line, going to take advantage of the distraction, and he is going to find 1. Pumpkin gonna fall to the Annihilation, and Tony, with an Annihilation of his own, he's decided, I'm taking matters into my own hands. You're gonna feel the pain that you've been inflicting on me this whole match. And he walks in, and Terps do find the point flip, and the enemy Tracer falls in the backline, which I think puts an end to this push. And the stagger on that Ramatra is absolutely huge, as 20% takes up on the second flashpoint, and finally, Terps find their footing.
Yeah, a beautiful job from Tony. That heads-up play of using that Annihilation, able to completely flip the fight. And I'm not sure quite who it was staying on point, but I mean, you know, a little bit of an unsung hero moment, just getting that flip mid-fight, and they're already up to, I believe, 20% on this ultimate. Sorry, up to 57, almost up to 60. Is William and Mary now needs to win this fight if they want to avoid going to a final round 5 fight. And yeah, this continuing rush is coming out from William and Mary. So much damage, even through those Ramatra fists, and they're gonna get the point flip, but. Tony is still there, and Terps Esports is pretty healthy, all things considered, so they should be able to stay on point for just a little bit longer and see if they can flip this point. Speed not quite going to be able to get that kill onto the enemy Lucio, but look at that, Ramatra, his health is so low, and he's in the middle of point, he can't look towards everybody at once.
Yeah, he's being absolutely overrun right now, but same thing with Tony. Both teams doing an amazing job of putting up the damage, and Tony, the shift comes out at a perfect time. Tanks the pulse bomb to the face, but out comes William and Mary's overclock. This might spell doom for UMD, as Tony's just gonna get blasted down. Moose pops his Kiriko before he dies, but that is going to be it for Flashpoint, and William and Mary takes this map 3-1 on Flashpoint.
Yeah,
wow.
A huge change in momentum. They did such a good job of just running through that Terps Esports team, and we're gonna be seeing now this Sojourn play of the game. Yeah, I mean, she was doing a brilliant Peep impression, gonna be able to shoot down Moose, and oh, what a nasty shot onto Pumpkin. Felt like he was flying like a Mach 1 or Mach 2 maybe, but it doesn't matter at all. As he's gonna
it. They made it to the finals. I mean, they are definitely not to be sneezed at, and perhaps UMD disrespecting them a little bit and getting a little bit cocky, and that's not really what you want to see.
Yeah, we saw how strong this team out of William and Mary can be on that first point, but UMD just did such a good job on that Junkertown that I kind of forgot. Yeah, this is this really is the highest level of team, and they're here to show it. So able to get themselves onto the board, and that's going to be 2 maps to UMD versus 1 to William and Mary. But this change in momentum could be really big if UMD doesn't step up now.
Yeah, I think after Flashpoint, I believe we're going to go to push maps, which Esperanca, oh, that's not how you pronounce it, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Coliseo and New Queen Street, which I believe you can probably get away with a lot of stuff on a few of those maps. So
yeah, I'm really interested to see what we're gonna find from these players coming out. I wouldn't be surprised to see some Orisa on these maps. Definitely very good, because they have a good mix of both range and up close and personal fights. So that really plays into what Orisa is able to do. But unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to see this Peep Widowmaker. So not the best map for UMD to have lost, because they're not if they were going to go on to say just like a push map, they could just go onto for instance, Circuit Royale, just say, Speep, go get some headshots. We'll play the next map.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're going to need that fast team play for this next map coming up.
Right, and we will definitely see that next map in a minute, a few seconds. We're gonna take a quick break, and we will see you guys after that. Welcome back, everybody. We are well rested from our little break, and we're going to be hopping into the push map soon. We did see that it is going to be New Queen Street, which is actually something that I don't see very often. You usually see...
Yeah, Esperanza seems to be the map of choice for these players. So glad to see that we're seeing something a little bit different, and definitely plays into UMD's wheelhouse very well, because you know, that Zarya that UMD is so good at playing. I don't think there's really an angle that Zarya gets outranged on this map. There's a lot of corners that just allow Zarya to get up into your face before you can outrange her, and we're going to be seeing Terps Esports opting to go for that high ground, walking straight into a Ramatra comp out of William & Mary. So definitely interested to see how this, you know, this run back, what it feels like, how this is going to end up for these teams.
Yeah, William and Mary opting for the Ramatra instead of the Zarya, playing to their own strengths, realizing that Ramatra is, you know, what they've done well on in the past, and they want to replicate those results. And so here they come with the push and the speed, but UMD, ew, the boop almost comes out from Pumpkin on that Lucio, but at the end of the day, all it did was push UMD back. And now UMD can answer back with their own push. Ramatra dropping dangerously low on William and Mary. Like, they will be able to stall at the push, and the boop from Nukalama is going to take out Pumpkin, and he will get taken out for his bravery. But at the end of the day, they pushed it a little bit, and now UMD gets the control. But you started off with a push, and that's something. Yeah, that's the momentum.
Yeah, a great boop coming out from that enemy Lucio Nukalama, but unfortunately goes back for a second one and is just not quite able to find it. Going to go down for it, and that was the tipping point, I think, in this fight. Allows Terps Esports to take that advantage and start their own push, like you said. But we're seeing now a full regroup from Terps Esports, and William and Mary just opting for that high ground. I believe it's like a cafe or something. And they're going to be able to flip the perspective of this a little bit as they end up behind the card, and we're going to see a window come out from Terps Esports. It's going to keep them up and alive, but because of that bus, it's going to be hard for them to get any kind of angle onto the enemy team.
Yeah, that's a really awkward angle for a window, but at the end of the day, it did force William and Mary to move, and that's what's going to happen. And on the backside of that, the enemy Tracer will fall. Kiriko comes out from William and Mary, as well as the beat, as well as Speep's overclock. The grab comes out, and Speep just firing into the massive bodies, unable to find anything. And out comes the enemy overclock, takes out Speep at long range. And now it's Moose, left alone in the cart, just desperately stalling out. They're going to find him, but he will stall out the cart. And that's control by William and Mary. Very messy fights we're seeing on both sides here.
Yeah, I really thought that UMD had it with that initial pick, and the ultimate use as well. It was a great Graviton Surge, but it just wasn't quite enough, as that beat really goes to show how powerful that Lucio ultimate is. Nukalama doing a great job of building it so quickly. But now we're seeing a beat coming out from Pumpkin this fight, most likely. So definitely you got to keep out for that. We just saw how pivotal it can be in a fight, as Terps Esports is able to fully push William & Mary off of that cart, just vying for control over that corner, but now your team wants to overextend. There's just so much damage from these teams that can be your death immediately, but Ramatra going to be the one to initially push to that point. We're going to see the beat coming out from Pumpkin, able to counter out the pulse bomb as well, and not quite able to find that Tracer. Speed is so low, are they going to be able to find him?
Speed jumping dangerously low, but he will survive due to the heals from Moose and the bubbles from Tony. Tony stomps forward, takes out the Kiriko, but the Ramatra just punches them as they walk forward, and now UMD being forced backward even though that window is still up, and that's halfway for William and Mary. And oh my gosh, the back and forth there was almost perfect from William and Mary. Just Terps being unable to get into the backline, but William and Mary sheltering the storm perfectly. And although they are going to back off the cart because they lost to Kiriko, they are going to have forward spawn, so they can take this fight rather immediately.
Yeah, and they're just going to force Terps Esports to back up now that the checkpoint has been reached. UMD doesn't need to necessarily hold that checkpoint so aggressively, and they're going to back up and just give a little bit of space, but unfortunately JTKeys is going to fall to a punch. Felt like, max range or something, a little bit of like a sniper fist, but he's going to keep on walking forward. We do see the overclock coming out from William and Mary. Not going to be mirrored quite yet by Speed, but
Tony.
because Tony's just going to go down through that overclock, but they are able to trade out the Ramatra.
Yeah, Tony taking an absolute beating there from the overclock, but fortunately they will be able to answer back with a kill. Ramatra, both tanks getting traded out, and Tony having the closer spawn means that UMD has the advantage, and Moose will use it to take out that Kiriko. And I think, yeah, it's just, they're just choosing to reset there, and finally UMD back to some sort of stability.
Yeah, they might, they're probably going to be able to touch this checkpoint, but still William and Mary has that high ground. They have a great position going into this fight, and UMD needs to deal with that before they push. If they just focus on the objective immediately, they're probably just going to fall for it. Tony forced to use both of his bubbles. He has to just back up because he has no more sustain left, and this Ramatra just, looks like he's chasing him to the ends of the earth, trying to find it. Would be a romantic gesture if he wasn't trying to kill him, but it's going to work out for William and Mary as they fully force Terps all the way back to their spawn. They're still finding more. Moose going to go down, so far from that objective.
Yeah, and Moose getting staggered there is going to hurt a lot, as now we see William and Mary kind of stomping up towards 100 meters. And I think we can probably all agree that the closer you get to the end of the map, the harder it is to push. But the pulse bomb from JTKeys is perfect. Finds the opening pick on that Lucio, and now UMD uses it as the sign to just walk forward. And yeah, William and Mary is going to find a pick on the Baptiste, but the spawn is right there. Got mine. At the end of the day, is all you got to say, right?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whether you win or lose, I mean, as long as you do your job and it's the fault of your teammates, then in a sense you won the game. That's what I tell myself, at least, so I don't cry myself to sleep. But we're gonna get into this next fight, as that Baptiste is only getting back now thanks to that taxi from Lucio, and it couldn't come in soon enough. Is we're gonna be seeing a graviton surge coming out from that from Tony, and it's gonna be able to find two. The immortality field is forced out from the enemy team, and Nuke Llama going to be able to find Moose on that flank, but it's still probably not going to be enough as UMD is still pushing in further and further. Are they going to be able to find any more kills? They need to find something quick before William and Mary is able to come back and regroup. That Ramatra is going to fall, and that's going to be a huge loss. That might be enough single-handedly to get Terps Esports to that checkpoint if William and Mary isn't quick.
Yeah, and I think in the madness, Moose falls, but he will be able to come back with that window, and that might spell doom for William and Mary, as I mean, like, this is the point of the map where you probably have the largest sightlines besides the very end of the point. And ooh, JTKeys getting taken out by the enemy Sojourn. Great shot coming out from her, and now UMD's just going to call a full retreat. They know that without JTKeys they can't really fight properly, and I actually take it back. They're going to take the fight to William and Mary. The window comes out, and the Sojourn falls, but out comes the Kiriko rush from William and Mary. They are not going down without a fight. The Kiriko just stomping forward, taking all the space possible, and look, Moose getting separated without his Lucio. He can't get away, and even though Pumpkin is going to try to avenge his death, it's not going to amount to anything, and UMD kind of stuck here on this high ground, trying to make sure that the bot doesn't get pushed any further than it absolutely has to. but William and Mary popping the overclock, walking forward. Can they shelter the storm? I do not think so. Pumpkin and Tony are going to fall soon after. And now William and Mary finally has the bot back on their side of the map. 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, I love that play. I really did love that play from Terps Esports, going for what looked like a fake retreat and then engaging with the window, able to just burst down that enemy Sojourn before she knew what was happening. But oh my God, that Lucio falling so low, Speep just not quite able to get that final kill. And we see a swap onto Monkey from Tony. Just opting, saying, "Hey, the Zarya isn't really working. I think we just need some more aggression, maybe some more help for Jakeezus." But it doesn't look like he needs it. He's going to be able to find that kill onto Kiri to open up this fight for Terps Esports.
Yeah, and I think Winston. Well, I mean, Winston did pretty good here, but we gotta really hand it to Jakeezus, taking out, I believe, 3 in that fight. And Moose is also going to be the one to swap onto Kiriko versus the Baptiste, and I do believe that this is going to be a very positive swap. Kiriko just has more survivability. Just she's very slippery versus Baptiste, and I think that's gonna I think that's gonna work out a lot for them.
Yeah, you definitely need to keep your eye out for the change of pace that we're going to be seeing out of Terps Esports. Instead of playing around Zarya's ability timers and trying to just stay alive, we're going to be seeing probably just a full engage from Tony as soon as he calls it. He's just going to jump in, and the rest of UMD is going to follow. But we're seeing a little bit of a Tracer 1v1 with the help of those Lucios respectively, and nothing much is going to come out of it, but instead Tony is going to be able to push it and get that enemy Sojourn thanks to that distraction that those two players are able to provide. And that's what you love from that Lucio and that Tracer combo on the flank.
And the railgun comes out, but out comes the beat in response. But the beat will come out and save Speep's life. But there's so much going on, so many pixels on his screen. He's going to take it down by the Ramatra's Annihilation. Pulse Bomb comes out, finds absolutely no damage. That's really sad. But the bot is still pushing. Look, they're going to get it halfway. And the Primal Rage comes out to possibly take down the Sojourn. No, she will live. She will slide into spawn. Very smart by her. And Tony might get out with his life, but he jumps right into a Ramatra. He's in danger, and he can't get out. But the overtime wick, they're out of time. I didn't even realize that they were out of time, and they might not be able to touch the cart. Tracer's gonna get on last second overtime. This is where it matters. Now UMD knows that they have to trickle onto the cart. Can they touch? No. And the 4th map push is gonna go over to William and Mary.
Wow, that game was over so quickly. I thought that we were only like halfway through, but suddenly it was just over.
I don't think my sense of time is completely thrown off. I can't believe we burned through 10 minutes. And Speed with the play of the game, yes, but it didn't really amount to much, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I did really like that adaptation of the monkey switch coming up from UMD, but I think it might have just come out a little bit too late.
Yeah.
And UMD was looking so strong in the beginning of the series, but William Mary has been able to call themselves back to a 2v2, 2-2, as again, because we have best of 7. Normally this would be series point. But we're still in here for another at least 2 games. So a lot of time for more adaptations, a lot of time for some novelty strats, maybe some more Winston, maybe, who knows?
Yeah,
we could see anything.
I think the Winston was honestly working out for them there. It helped them pick up the pace a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously they were running a brawl, but I just think Baptiste is a little bit slower than Kiriko. And, Moose obviously doing the best he can. His windows are amazing. Immortality Field's perfect, but sometimes it's just the character.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much pressure from. We saw a Tracer, a Lucio. I mean, even the Sojourn peppering.
Even the Ramatra.
Yeah, the Ramatra was just walking into the face of UMD, and I think that's why we saw the switch from Winston to Zarya. Zarya needs to just do so much damage that the enemy take can't really do anything, and William and Mary is doing a fantastic job of mitigating that damage and just allowing their Ramatra to really play the game, which sometimes against the Zarya is not a given.
Yeah, William and Mary they are doing a great job playing their own game. They've realized that they can just walk forward, and it's working out for them. Maybe they're taking a bit of a page out of UMD's book from the first 2 games, but whatever it is, we now see an even series.
Yeah.
And we haven't actually gotten this far ever. What's the next map? I'm going to go with Hybrid.
I don't think we've seen a Hybrid map yet.
Yeah, I don't think we've
just
seen
a quick recap.
Either.
We saw Lijiang, and then Junkertown, New Junk
and
City, and now
New Queen Street.
New Queen Street.
So I do believe it's going to be hybrid next.
Yes. I know Kings Row is a favorite of these UMD players, as they should have map pick. But
yes,
I'm interested to see maybe if they play into, say, Route 66 or something a little bit more long range that plays into the advantage that they have. Speeps Widowmaker was so dominant on Junkertown. So if they play, like I said, Route 66 or some other, hybrid map, even Numbani, something like that, definitely keep your eyes out for more of a novelty hybrid map.
Yeah, something that I think will favor more of the Winston. But at the end of the day, we'll see what they pick after this break.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in a second.
See you guys just after this.
I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Terp Adventures take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body, feed your mind, feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform. Find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the center for campus life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
Welcome back. We are going to be jumping into the next game any second now. Still not quite sure what map we're going to be hopping in on, but I mean, I'm not much of a betting man, but I would put money on the fact that it's Kings Row. We know that the players are very, very comfortable on this map. They've scrimmed it, probably 100 times just this season. So
it's not called Scrims Row for nothing, that's for sure. And
yeah,
Terps do need a bit of a miracle. They're kind of they're kind of off balance right here, and they
Yeah,
have to find something.
Yeah, they're running out of steam a little bit, which is not what you see. Normally, they warm up and then they just blitz through the rest of the series, and we're kind of seeing the opposite of that. Looks like maybe even William and Mary taking a page out of their book, but we are going to be heading on to New Bonnie. I was talking about this, working into especially that Winston that they were playing and finding a little bit of success at the end of the map. I'm not sure if they're planning on just riding on that momentum that they were getting with the Winston play, or if we're going to see maybe even some Diva. I know is really powerful on this map.
I didn't think about that.
I'm very, very curious what we're going to be seeing, but we're hopping into this game any second now, and I think we're going to be seeing William and Mary on the attacking side to start.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We don't really see this map all that much. I am a big proponent of Anna Brig on this map specifically, and I think that's a really strong backline, which is not a backline that you see very often. So I'm really interested to see what team comps each team is going to pick, and here we go into the first round picks, and I don't see either of those characters.
Yep. No, we're going to be seeing almost an exact mirror match, the only difference being Rival on that Tracer. We've been seeing Rival on the Tracer all night, and it's been playing really well, so that doesn't surprise me at all. But Speep, our resident hit scan player on that Ashe, so powerful with the high guns that you can control, and the coach gun also. If you're getting dived by like a Lucio or sorry, not a Lucio, a Winston or a Tracer, just saying, back up. I like my personal bubble.
Exactly.
So, yeah. This is the monkey that we were seeing. That exactly what I was talking about. Tony doing really a lot at the end of that on New Queen Street. So I'm curious to see how well he's going to be playing this game. But we're also going to be seeing a new tank out of William and Mary as well. That Winston as well.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that we're going to see Echo here. Echo, obviously, I think a very niche character. You really see her on very specific maps, very specific scenarios, but we see an Echo on both sides. And oh, the boop from Nuke Bomber was perfect to boop Tony off of the high ground. And even though Rival gets taken out in the engage, that was high ground control gotten from William Mary, and oof, Jaquizas with that 3K.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he already has the achievement, but almost getting the 2-for-1 with the laser. I know that's an achievement for that you can get on Echo, and it's actually a pretty hard one for one I know. So the fact that he's just casually getting this in the middle of the grand final is very impressive. And we are going to get the Swift on the switch on the UI. Keep in mind, Terps Esports in the blue this game. I think we've been seeing them in the red recently. So keep your eye out for that. But the monkey going in for the engagement, but the Echo doing so much damage with those sticky bombs plus that laser as well. Just able to chunk down that monkey so quickly.
Wow. Speed, just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you say? He's just hitting shots.
Yeah, he did. They might have not been headshots, but still, 3 body shots is nothing to. Sorry, not 3. I think it was 4 or 5. It was 5.
Yeah.
5 body shots, nothing to sneeze at, and you can definitely tell the defense are putting in the work this game. I mean, just look at the ult charge.
Yeah, the ultimate economy is looking so good for Terps Esports. They almost have 5 online, while William and Mary is only really about half charge on even their highest ultimates. That monkey's just falling so low. He's not quite gonna go down, but he's on death row. And we're seeing that laser come out again. It's not gonna find the monkey, but it is gonna find the Echo. And we see the primal rage coming out from Tony. And honestly, I'm surprised that the emotion isn't more of a joy than an anger. As Terps Esports are holding this very well. 2 minutes in, and they still got the ultimate advantage. They're still showing no cracks whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, Speed finding the first pick there in that fight, and then Tony, like that primal rage. While it might have not been necessary, it was huge. I mean, it booped both the Lucio and the Winston in so that they couldn't get out. And then Jaquizas finding the last kill in that fight just to create a little bit of a stagger. You can tell these guys know what they're doing, and out come the ultimates. The beat gets Ajax. The beat gets Ajax by Bob. Oh, Speep, what a Bob and what a Kiriko ult. Oh my gosh. And that's just like a regular day for him.
Yeah.
That's just a regular day. Oh, did he react there? He couldn't. We're going to get a bit of a replay here. Here comes the Bob, and look, you see the Lucio go flying into the air, and he gets taken out by Bob on the way down. That's so sad. But
yeah, Samurai. Yeah, rocking the Samurai Jack skin, but more like a Samurai Ajax skin, getting that beautiful shot. And we're seeing another engage from the Monkey, but we're going to be seeing a copy from Jakeezus. Not quite going to be able to find that Lucio, but 2 Tesla cannons walking straight into you. What do? You back up, but unfortunately Jakeezus is going to lose that copy, and we're going to be seeing a similar one coming out from William and Mary. They're going to be able to find speed from it, a 3-man dive, but look at Tony completely controlling this backline, chasing this Kiriko to the edge of the earth, forcing out all the abilities. Is he going to be able to find him? Yes, he is, and Terps Esports is absolutely still in this fight. Moose is going to be traded out, but you know, it's still a back and forth fight with Jakeezus going down. That officially marks, you know, a big advantage in this fight for Terps Esports, as Tony is finally going to fall, and I think that's going to be the final nail in the coffin. But, you know, keep in mind, Speep is on this tracer now, so we're going to be seeing, you know, again, like I was saying, a big swing in this momentum. Speep trying to get one last touch, but just going to evaporate for it.
That's just, honestly, the highs and lows of Overwatch. You one-shot, and then you get one-shot. Just...
yeah, absolutely.
whatever, man.
Looks like Speep did go Tracer just to get that touch because the fight was so close, but opting to go back onto this Ashe, and I think that's why he went in for that. What felt like a kamikaze play. I'm not sure. You know, if it wasn't for that switch, I'm not sure what he would have been hoping to gain, but instead he gets that fast swap back onto the Ashe, and he's putting in so much work.
Yeah, the Terps here. Jakeezus jumping dangerously low. They're going to force the Primal Rage. William and Mary taking this fight so far away from the cart. They've definitely learned to be aggressive, and there is the aggressiveness working out for William and Mary. They're going to find Speed and Jakeezus.
Oh my god! What a shot with the turnaround melee to finish the kill. Just styling on this Tracer, even though he's on Echo, but gets the Tracer diff anyway. It doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh, and although his Reign of Terror is going to end here, it's going to stall the card out and give UMD enough time to get a regroup.
Yeah, UMD has a full regroup compared to what William Mary has on this point, but take a look at those ultimates. Only missing that Primal Rage, which is probably the least impactful ultimate out of those 5 anyway. Versus, you know, Terps Esports only having that Kitsune Rush. Tony almost going down, forces the cleanse out of UMD, and we're going to see the rush out of UMD, but it's countered immediately by that beat, and as Peep's going to go down, Terps Esports are going to have a very difficult time holding on to this fight. As they're going in, Pumpkin is going to go down as well, and now it's going to be very, very hard to stay up. Only those Kiriko healing, and without her abilities, she's not going to be able to keep Tony alive. Moon's going to back up, but 2 minutes left on the clock. This is definitely holdable for Terps Esports, at least getting it down to 0.
Yeah, we're going to see a bit of a replay here just on Jakeezus' absolute mastery here. Look at this. And then the blink melee. Ooh, I got chills a little bit. I'm not
So
gonna lie.
clean, yeah.
And, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but it's like a mental thing.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for, oh
wow.
Monkey, I think he might have been boosted by Lucio or something. Goes a little bit too far out of his bubble, and he's gonna fall for it. Speed now on this Tracer, chasing down, saying, Jakeezus, anything you can do, I can do better. And they are going to be able to force William and Mary fully off this point as well. Not quite going to be able to find this Echo, but she overstates her welcome, and she's going to fall. And UMD should be able to just hold this corner, and with only 1 minute and 30 left on the clock, should be enough for 2 fights from UMD. And so I would be very surprised if William and Mary finishes this with any time left, if they finish at all.
William and Mary just, honestly, that second point was so masterful from them, just taking the fights extremely quick, not really giving UMD time to breathe. Speaking of not giving UMD time to breathe, in they come with another engagement. They forced Tony's Primal Rage, which is going to get traded out for William and Mary's Winston's Primal Rage, and now it's just the 2 angry Winstons just jumping around, but the angry Winston from William and Mary falls slightly lower due to Echo's focusing beam, and the pulse bomb from Terps is going to find nothing. Very back and forth, very high commitment on this fight, and it's just neutral. But here comes the jump and the Kiriko ult from both sides once again. These Warren Kiriko ults are something that we've seen so many times before, and Jakeezus is going to be the first one to fall in these fights.
Yeah, UMD is falling now, but even if they lose this fight, take a look at the timer, only 30 seconds left. That should be very doable for them to just stall it out, especially if we're going to see that copy, that beat coming down. So they have a great chance to win this fight. But worst case scenario, it's going to be almost impossible for William and Mary to get through all of that defensive utility that UMD has. But UMD still does have the touch. We're going to be seeing a full engage. A pulse bomb comes out from the enemy Tracer, but it's not quite going to find anybody. And Terps Esports going in all the way now. Jake Keys is with this swap onto Monkey. Is he not going to be able to find anybody? It looks like he's just you know, messing with the backline, taking the you know, full attention of so many of the players, and that's going to be enough to find Winston. Overtime ticking down now officially, and so many players from William and Mary are falling. Terps Esports is going to lose a couple of players, but it's just not going to be enough, and William and Mary are going to get hold out of that last point.
As Sojourn says, this ends now, and yes, it did end now. That was there was quite a lot going on in most of those fights. But
yeah, that was some prime Overwatch.
My
just
God.
You know, looks like it feels like you need to have like 50 pairs of eyes or something just to keep track of everything. But
there's always something happening that you can be looking at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that I want to highlight in that last fight is actually Jakiz's ultimate. We had his POV for most of the time, and it might have looked like he was doing nothing, just kind of, you know, standing back and just, you know, not really getting any kills. But at the end of the day, I do believe that is what helped Terps capture the point, because he distracted the backline. Yeah,
I mean, he didn't get any kills, but you know, if you're asking, he had an ultimate, why wasn't he able to find any kills? It's because it was one player in the backline versus, I believe, 3 of the William and Mary people were just looking directly at him. We saw the Kiriko shooting, we saw the Lucio shooting, and I believe we saw the Sojourn as well. And because of that, the Monkey was just not able to get as much health and you know, support as he probably wanted and was expecting, and so he did end up going down for it. And look at William and Mary. We're seeing that Brig on just like you were saying. Yeah, Terps Esports opting for a bit of a faster paced defense, but William and Mary going for that traditional old reliable.
Yeah, and I think for William Mary, you're definitely stuck between a rock and a hard place there, because if you're the Winston and you need to touch the cart, but your teammates are being dove in the backline, it's neuro rewards. Which one? Neuroeconomics.
Yeah, it's either
which one do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's die or lose. I don't think, you know, either of those are necessarily what they had in mind, but UMD going for it all the way around, just trying to stay out of line of sight of that Ana for as long as possible. Definitely makes sense. That Sleep Dart doing so much, and a beautiful full stick from Jakizis with those sticky bombs. Not quite going to be able to find anybody, and Terps Esports is going to be forced off the high ground, but they've been able to get so much momentum, and Speed, you know, looking to be the aggressor, even though probably the most fragile person on the site. Perfect tracking from Jakizis is going to be able to find that enemy Echo, and look how low that Monkey is. I believe Tony is diving that enemy Ana, so it's going to be very hard for that Monkey to get healed up. He's going to be able to do it, but Terps Esports are on points.
Moose Truck's getting a little bit aggressive there, and he will get taken down. That's really not what you want to see, especially with Pumpkin also falling. They just cannot seem to find the Tracer or the Winston, and, you know, maybe they got a little bit too aggressive, and now it's back to the drawing board for UMD.
Yeah, this really goes to show how strong, like you were saying, that Ana-Brig combo is on this map. I mean, you know, even though Tony was in the face of that Ana, and the enemy Winston was just so low, Brigitte being able to, you know, keep Tony at bay and allowing Ana to just get that pivotal healing onto their Winston is just so important. So they are going to be able to hold down to that fight, but they still have to continue doing this for another 2.5 minutes. And we already saw some cracks starting to form, so I would be very surprised if they're able to continue holding this. Tony, with that Primal Rage, we're probably going to be seeing a dive onto the enemy healers anytime soon, but they're probably just going to wait for that, as Rival is going to get a stick onto Speed and probably just forces a regroup out of Terps.
Yeah, we're going to see the Pulse Bomb just coming out and ending that fight before it can even really start. And that's another 30 seconds-ish, give or take, off the clock for UMD, as we now dip down into 1 minute territory, or around 2 minute territory left. But the ultimates being built, and out comes the duplicate. It's time to go. Jakizis, he's going to jump onto the point. Might have missed the jump into the backline, but don't worry, Tony, he's the one who's hit it. He's the one who hit it. It's double Winston in the backline, but in UMD's backline, it's Speed falling. Same with Moose, and now is a double Primal Rage, but at the end of the day, your team is dead. I don't know if they can continue keeping this alive. It's just Tony and Jakizis, and they're going to try to get out with their lives, but Tony is going to be unsuccessful. What about Jakizis? I do believe he's on the point. And yeah, he will fall as well. Those are really staggers that you don't want to see. And the double Primal Rage in the backline doesn't amount to anything.
It was so close. I mean, they were able to get both of those supports, which, you know, under normal circumstances should be enough to clean up a fight, but unfortunately, they had to trade backlines for it. And unfortunately, Tony and Jakizis is not quite going to be able to win that 2v2 on point. we're going to be getting probably close to the last fight. Maybe one more after this if UMD ends up losing. But Tony not quite going to be able to get the dive, but Jaquizas taking the opportunity to get a pick onto that enemy Echo and forces the Brigitte out of nowhere. Where's this Ana in the middle of no man's land going for the Mega and just not going to be able to find it. The stick does come out, but it's still not enough to find Tony. Moose is going to go down in the process, but they force out the Primal Rage.
Yeah, but this is still 100% winnable from William and Mary. They do have the Winston Echo and the Brigitte left for them. And the touch! Oh, but Pumpkin's boop is going to force the C9! And that is crucial for UMD, as now they can finally get their footing on the second point.
Yeah, I mean, that is honestly one of the most underrated aspects of Lucio's kit, is there's so much to keep track of in this game that it really takes all of your brain power just to say, okay, I can back up here and get the point and touch the point just in the nick of time, but sometimes you just forget, hey, there's a Lucio there, and he's going to stop you from getting out the point if you go for the last second, and that's exactly what happens. We do see a nano boost coming out from the enemy Winston, but UMD doing a great job of just backing up and keeping that monkey in front of them. So they're not gonna fall to that nano boost, and they're actually forcing the enemy team to back all the way out of spawn. Ana gonna get caught, and sorry, Brigitte also very, very low, and they're going to get the full team wipe, and that's going to be huge. They only need like one more fight because of how far away that spawn room is to get the second touch, and they're looking, even after that, brought to overtime on that first point, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, those sticky bombs from Jaquizas is just absolutely shredding the back line. What an amazing dive coming out from both Tony and Jaquizas. These guys looking better on this point for sure, and now we're looking at a second point capture.
Yeah, look at that ultimate economy as well. Terps Esports almost have 5 ultimates up versus just that copy out of William and Mary. We're going to see the Primal Rage coming out from Tony, and it's not quite going to be able to find anybody, but Speed with the stick going to be able to find Winston. They do lose Speed in the process, but there's just so much presence, and the nano boost coming out from Terps Esports. There's no way that the Ana is going to be able to survive through it. A nanoed monkey is just not what you want to face when you're trying to touch point.
Yeah, and Tony, it's just Tony and his supports left on the point. Now that the Winston and the Tracer are here, I'm a liar. I think they're going to be able to cap this. It's just a quick, clean, no. William and Mary, they think they can fight this. The Winstons pop the Primal Rage, and the Echoes pop the copy, and Pumpkin has popped the beat. There's ults coming from left and right, and now UMD just needs to clean up these last few kills. Moose is going to choose to pop the Kiriko. Out comes the nade. Anti-tees Tony, but he will stay alive. And as the Winston and the Lucio fall, the back and forth is not going to work out for William and Mary. And now it's back to the drawing board, but you've used 3 ultimates just to stall the fight out for, what, maybe 30, 45 more seconds?
Yeah, something like that, but keep in mind, I believe that... no, sorry. I was about to say that the timer ticked down to overtime, so some of those seconds didn't matter, but that's just fully a lie. They were down to about 30 seconds left on the timer when they capped. But, 2 minutes is what William and Mary was working with, at least at some point, to get this final pick, and it wasn't enough for them. Is it going to be enough for Terps Esports? And they essentially need to cap this point. If they're able to do that, they'll win. Otherwise, probably not, but they're only going to have 2 more fights as they're going to go down this one.
Yeah, just Nano Winston jumps into the back line, and it's a tale as old as time. You can't really do anything about it, and poor Pumpkin being the target of the dive, and he will go down. But that's really good awareness of William and Mary, knowing that around this corner that is where they need to kind of get their footing. They know that if they lose the fight here, it's going to be a big scramble because of the William and Mary not capping themselves. And look at all the pressure being put out onto this Winston. So much damage coming out from both the Echo and the rest of Terps Esports, and UMD realizes that it's time to go. They think that they can kill this Winston, and now there's no cleanse. He's got the pulse bomb. He's gonna throw it. He's not gonna find anything, and Pumpkin gets taken out by the enemy pulse bomb. We're looking at 30 seconds left on the clock, and UMD is just gonna opt for a full regroup here as William and Mary comes back from spawn. This is last fight territory. 3 meters left as UMD not really having any ults, and William and Mary also not really having all that much to work with.
Yeah, Terps needs to back up and wait for Pumpkin to go back on that Lucio. Without Lucio, this is almost an unwinnable fight as they need that speed to get onto the backline. They're gonna come in, and we see the beat coming out from William and Mary, but
the C9!
A C9! They forget about the point. So much pressure coming out from that Kitsune rush, and everybody coming back. The kiting just trying to help the backline. They're just gonna forget about the point. How does this happen?
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. My heart is pounding so quick right now. This is high-level Overwatch. This is what we love to see from these players, and just the amount of pressure. Honestly, props to Tony and props to Moose, because those are the two players who said, screw it, we're jumping into this backline and we do not care what happens. And that put the pressure on William Mary to jump off the point. Oh my god, I can't breathe right now.
Yeah, this is crazy.
My
You know, you could say, oh, it's just luck, you know, whatever, but I want to point out, this is not the first time that this has happened to Terps Esports, and these super important, I mean, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, we're on I think another Game 5 on Kings Row when basically the same thing happened.
I forgot about that.
And Terps Esports, it seems like they're really good at manufacturing these situations where there's just so much pressure on the backline that it causes a full regroup from the enemy team, and they just have to walk off the point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Winston there and you see your backline getting dove, what are you going to do? I mean, the beat comes out. Yeah, you can stay on the point, but your tank instincts come in. Like, your job is to protect your team. You're going to jump back and protect your team. You're not going to look at the card.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can talk about, you know, the beat was up, and so maybe he didn't need to come back, but remember, the Winston was in the Kitsune rush, so able to get that splash damage as well as just how fast naturally the beat goes away anyway. I mean, the beat was going to run out very, very soon regardless. So, I mean, I think I completely agree that the Winston needed to be in that backline if they wanted to stay alive, but unfortunately, even more than that, he needed to be on the cart. And I don't know, probably a miscommunication, hoping that the Tracer was going to touch. I don't know what happened, but
we'll never really know what happened.
Yeah. That's crazy. I was worried for a second that I kind of forgot about the time when Terps Esports were forced off of the cart. But what a crazy turn of events!
Oh my gosh, my heart is pounding so quickly right now, and we're finally gonna see UMD. Like, I don't want to say get their footing, because honestly, there's an elements of a C9 that's definitely about luck and losing focus, but they're finally back to winning a map. And props to William and Mary for taking it to that close of a like time bank difference. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Great job to both of these teams. And we finally got to see some dive. So I'm pretty jazzed. And as we go into this 6th map, which I don't know what the 6th map is, but
yeah, we're finally into the realm of the unknown for sure.
But we will find out whatever the map is after this break. We will see you guys in a few seconds. Peace out.
I'm gonna need a second to let my heart.
I know.
Terp Adventures take flight at STAM. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body. Feed your mind. Feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform, find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the Center for Campus Life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Your ad tech stack is simple, streamlined, and easy to manage, right? Yeah, right. If you're in ad tech, then you know you have a problem. Ad tech is messy, and your tech stack includes way too many tools to effectively manage. At Playwire, we're here to uncomplicate your ad tech stack. We've consolidated the entire publisher ad tech stack into a single platform and added in proprietary technology and advanced tools to generate you even higher CPMs. Get access to an ad tech stack that is simpler and smarter.
Welcome back, everybody. We are about to jump into the 6th map in this NECC Grand Final Series, and we are here on Nepal. Not a map that you see all that often, which I feel like is kind of a staple for this series. And we're going to see UMD resorting to Old Faithful on the dive. And we are going to also see William and Mary going back to that Ramatra, going back to what worked in the past. And Tony going to be the first one to fall in this map. And I think this is going to be a full reset coming out. Yeah, it's just going to be a full reset. And yep, whatever. Yeah, first fight already down the drain, but we're going to see some swaps out from UMD going onto that Doomfist, which is definitely interesting.
I think it is my first time seeing the official Terps Esports Doomfist.
I know, right?
But it definitely makes sense to see though, because He has a little bit more of a staying power compared to that monkey. Once that bubble goes down, there's basically no more healing left. Whereas Doomfist has the ability to hold that just arm in front of him for as long as he wants. So we're seeing a lot of damage coming out from Terps Esports. Unfortunately, not going to be able to find any picks quite yet. But the Doomfist just looking for one opening. If you're able to get it, that can be enough to get a whole round win.
Oh, the focusing beam is going to come out from Jaquizis, and unfortunately he's not going to watch his position. He's going to get punished for it. Try to take out that Tracer, but there's just too much slipperiness from that comp, and Steve's also going to commit the Pulse Bomb, which I don't think is going to find anything, but William and Mary's Kiriko Rush will be enough to secure that fight, and Terps back to the drawing board.
Yeah. We're going to be seeing just one ultimate on the side of Terps Esports that copy from Echo, but we're also going to be seeing Rush coming out very, very soon. Whereas William Mary has that beat, but unfortunately people are just going to be dropped before the fight even starts, and that's going to be a huge loss for them.
That was a nasty shot. I saw that. It was a mid-air shot. Mid-air headshot onto that Tracer. But Jaquizis is going to get pressure out enough to where he has to use the copy just to live. And now, here comes the Kiriko ult. And
so low, all of those players, but the B's going to come out in time. And that Skyward Punch, I forget what it's called, he's going to be doing so much to keep Tony alive. But unfortunately, while he's up there, that Tony is going to be able to find two. Lucio finding the other two. And finally, Rival going to be cleaning up that first round. And that's going to be it.
Yeah, that's going to be it. What's there to say? I mean,
yeah,
just click Q in the game, I think.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job, William and Mary, of just staying alive. Doomfist, if you get even one opening, that can be a whole pick, especially with, you can see that the Echo come in, or the Tracer coming in for the follow-up 1-2 punch, but unfortunately, they just weren't really able to get that opening that they needed, and we're going to be seeing now a full switch onto that. We're going to be seeing Tony onto that Sigma, which is one of his trademark characters, so that could be definitely spelling good things for Terps Esports, but also moves onto that Baptiste off of the Kiriko, and that's definitely good to see as well. We're seeing the Symmetra just to get onto site that little bit quicker, but a switch back onto the Tracer definitely makes sense. Jaquizis has been doing a great job so far this game, but the DPS from William Mary been doing a great job too, and gonna get a boop onto Jaquizis, the Tracer, but trades out the Sigma, and that's a huge loss. Pumpkin making sure that he doesn't push out too quickly, as they just want to be able to slowly get control of that space with Tony and make sure that they get the point safely without losing anybody. And the Tracer is on point, giving Pumpkin just a little bit of trouble, but he should be able to get that cap. And Rival actually going to go down to Moose. And that's a huge pick. It's going to force William and Mary to fully back out. You need to have somebody pressuring that backline, pressuring that Baptiste, or pressuring that Sojourn. Otherwise, they're just able to gun down your team, especially if you have Monkey. I mean, you need a little bit of space to get just to start that dive. You can't just jump in, into a full team, but you need to be very careful, pushing out a little bit too far. Fortunately, the Immortality field is going to come out.
Yeah, but Speep is going to find the pick on his counterpart Sojourn, and that opens up the map for UMD to just kind of walk forward and stomp this fight. And William and Mary has to go back to the drawing board. I do think Winston's actually a really good adaptation here, especially against the Sigma. I mean, you saw all he had to do is jump on the Sigma and then put the bubble down, and then it forced the Immortality field, and the rest is history. Didn't really work out that way, and now we're back on the mantra, but I can understand the adaptation, and I like where they were taking it.
Yeah, it's just really hard with that Baptiste. Just so much more damage than William and Mary is used to, as they've been having that, facing off against the Kiriko Lucio instead. But Pumpkin's going to get the trade of Rival after Rival takes out Jaquizis. Certainly, an adequate Rival at that for Jaquizis on that trade Ditto, but we're going to be seeing a huge ult coming up from both teams, a huge Gravitic Flux. It's not quite going to be able to find anybody, but the Ramacha isn't going to be able to find anybody either. And UMG is looking like they're going to come off to the advantage of this entire fight. Speed is going to go down. Oh, I take that back. Is huge healing, and Pumpkin coming in for both the assists, keeping him alive, and getting the KO. Huge stuff from Pumpkin. Keeping the team alive even through the Baptiste going down early in that fight.
Yeah, and as the counter ticks up 93, 94, it's scramble for the point as William & Mary now runs in with the overclock, and the beat comes out from Pumpkin, just sustaining everybody. But look at the damage that Tony is laying down. He's doing so much damage against that Lucio. He takes down the Ramatra, tries to rock the Tracer, but he's dangerously low. He's going to survive on the point, but Moose falls behind him, and it's overtime. Out comes the beat from William & Mary to solidify this fight, and Speep knows it's lost and just decides to back up with Pumpkin, and they're going to get out successfully.
Yeah, and that's very, very dangerous for Terps Esports. When you have the Sigma, it's very easy to control the high ground, but now that they're they have to push out through Ramatra with the Sigma, who doesn't have that frontline presence that Ramatra has, both with his fist and even with just his shield and his staff combination. But they're going to be opting to go for the far side and go towards the point, which makes sense. They don't want to run to the Ramatra, but instead they're not going to be able to control the high ground that you want to control. Moose going to be able to avoid that pulse bomb, not going to go down, not forced to use the immortality field either, which is huge. But look at Speep all the way in the back line, but that means that he's going to have to take on this Tracer 1v1. Pumpkin is there to get him out safely, but they both need to make sure that neither of them dies, because if they go down, that's going to be it for the fight. Rock's not quite going to be able to hit, but it doesn't quite matter. Tony's going to be able to take down that Sojourn. They do lose the immortality field, which might mean that Baptiste is soon to follow, but it's actually Pumpkin taking the grave, and Moose there is going to go down. But we're going to see the Gravitic Flux coming out from Tony, but the fist coming out from the enemy Ramatra means that he's probably going to be able to stay alive, and Terps Esports just have to back up and regroup.
Yeah, unfortunately, Moose and Pumpkin just kind of getting left behind in the rotation, and they will just kind of die alone in the corner. Really, really sad, because UMD had the opening pick, but the rotations coming out from both teams are so good. I mean, William & Mary just responding to their rotation almost perfectly, and now as 74% ticks up on the point, this is last fight territory for both squads. We've got 4 ults coming out from William & Mary, and almost 3 ults coming out from the Terps. This is going to be a fight for the ages, everybody. Let's see how it goes. And the Kiriko drops dangerously low. Pops the Kiriko ult. She's going to go down. Jakizis with the melee. Can he get out? He is going to get out and survive. The window putting so much pressure on William & Mary, forcing them off the engagement. And here comes the Ramatra ult and the Overclock. Overclock comes out, takes out Moose. The beat comes out, but it's Speep with the Overclock. It's Jakizis with the 3K.
Bival's going to be able to take down Pumpkin, but it's still only a 1v2. Speep is so low, but they forced out the recall from that. He's going to go down. Jesus gets the Tracer diff. Is he going to be able to find the Kiriko? He's falling so low. Is he going to be able to find it? There it is. And
oh my god!
These are going to be able to get the flip, but they still might be able to touch the Lucy. Ajax! He's not going to be able to get the beat up, and the dupe is also going to go down from the grave.
Jakizis
Terps Esports
the game
on the back of Jakizis. How do you do it?
Oh my god.
How are these games so close? Neither of these teams want us to go home yet. They're fighting tooth and nail to the bitter end, and Jakizis is going to be able to do it. I thought that they were going to be able to get that point back.
Call me Demi Lovato, because I'm about to have a heart attack. Like,
yeah.
I cannot take this anymore. Like, oh my god, Jakizis with the 5K, and Speep with the Overclock absolutely clutching up both the DPS. Like, everyone just working so hard to make these wins. And now we go into, I believe it's Village for Nepal.
Yeah.
And this is game, set, and match point for Terps Esports and the championship livelihood for William & Mary. And Tony playing that Orisa. He knows that it's time. Orisa has to be played. She's pretty darn broken, and look at that, one spear, and Ramatra's health bar just kind of melts away.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not gonna quite go down, but it still does give Terps Esports so much space. They're able to get all the way out, and with the shield going down, William & Mary probably just has to back up. Instead, Ramatra is pushing out, not giving up the space, but that means that as soon as those fists go down, he's probably just gonna die. He's going to be able to stay alive for so long, but I mean, it feels like life support, and finally they're going to just pull the plug, and he's going to go down. Jakizis getting 2 for the fight. They trade out Moose, but they're able to find the they're able to find the Kiriko instead, and they're going to get the team wipe, and they're going to be able to win that first fight.
Oh my gosh, Terps. There is so much pressure being put onto the Ramatra that they forget to look at their Sojourn, and so Jakizis just gets a free dive. He just flies up, puts the sticky bombs on the Sojourn, and the Sojourn just falls in the backline, and it's really unfortunate because then Terps can just stomp onto the backline with nothing disrupting their way. And now William & Mary is forced to go onto the Orisa of their own.
Yeah, you need to be really careful about this window. It does come out. It forces that Arisa completely away from a team. But unfortunately, she's not quite going to go down. She is going to be able to back up, but I can't say the same for the Baptistas. He's going to fall, and you got to be really careful about that amped up. I forget what it's called, that Soldier and Orb, but don't think about that. Is the Arisa's going to go down. Finally, the Tracer is going to fall to speed, but yeah, that's another great fight. And yeah, as soon as that Ramacho goes down, you can just see the entire fight crumble for Terps Esports. For William & Mary here.
Yeah, just amazing focus fire coming from the Terps. They know that they have to take down the BAP first. He is the most important target, and perhaps getting caught out in a little bit of no man's land there. And here it comes again.
Watch out, the ultimate going to come out probably from this Arisa, but it's just the overclock from Speep so far. It's not quite going to be able to find anybody, but you still have to watch out for Tony because he has that ultimate, and it can do so well displacing and doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, it looks like the Terps think they might be going towards main, but no, they're just going to try to make this rotation towards the backside of point once again. And Tony, having this Terror Surge, he knows that he wants to use it earlier in this fight, and out comes the window, and the overclock from William & Mary. The beat comes out from UMD, but there's so much damage coming up from behind that window that you can't peek, and the point gets flipped over. Now, Terps rotating onto the back line. They're coming onto the back line, but the beat comes out from William & Mary. Is going to keep the entire back line alive. Tony takes out the Baptiste while Moose and Pumpkin fall, but I think this spells the end for UMD's control of the point, and now they have to go back to the drawing board. What worked and what didn't? These fights are so close, and just using so many combinations of ultimates at both teams. Like, so much is going on right now. And
yeah, Terps Esports are going to have that amplification matrix again up and running, which we saw how much damage it can do to that Terps Esports, to that William & Mary team. We see the window coming out. It's not quite going to be able to find anybody, but look at this. Look at this. Arisa in the middle of nowhere popping the ultimate. It's not going to find anybody, and she just has to cancel it and run for cover, but she's still nowhere compared to the rest of her team. And Terps Esports can kind of do whatever they want, but unfortunately, Speep is just going to slide outside of that Immortality field, and somehow this Arisa gets back to the rest of her team, and Terps Esports are not looking good for this fight. They are still able to control the high ground, so if they're able to wait for Speep to come back, they should be just fine. But I mean, the timer is still ticking up, 60% now. They only have this fight and maybe one more.
Yeah, 60% on the point means, like you said, one fight and one more. This is map 6, which means if the Terps lose, they do have an extra map, but William & Mary will stay in this game if they are able to take this victory. And the Tracer just putting so much pressure onto Moose. The Immortality field comes out. They're trying to peel for him. Tony is trying to get in his face and peel for him, but he's going to fall. But the Arisa is getting traded out. That's exactly what you want to see. It's Speep with the flick. Is going to take out the Tracer on the backside of the fight. And the overclock comes out, takes out 3. And this is crucial because now this is one fight territory, and William & Mary is going to come back with 3 different ults. Speep knows that he was a big part of the flick, absolutely perfect, and now it's on the Terps to either stall, create another C9 situation, or take this last fight. And here they go. They're jumping to the backline. Lucio drops dangerously low. He's isolated from the rest of his team, and they're just going to walk on to the point. They're going on the Sojourn. The Sojourn falls to Speep. The beat comes out. Moose in the back line, just keeping up his team. Jaquizas takes out the Tracer. Pumpkin takes out the Lucio. The Terror Surge comes out. It's huge. And it's the NECC Grand Finals going to UMD Esports. Oh my God.
Terps going to be the NECC champions, going undefeated throughout the entire season, both the regular season and now through the entire bracket stage, going to be able to take out, as unfortunately they're not going to be able to get the play of the game, but what does that mean? Because they are the champions #1, and beautiful play. So much happened in this series. It's incredible to think about. The C9 and then this Nepal game has been back and forth. I don't know how they've been able to keep this going, but they're going to be able to take it. And you can see that they are on cloud 9 right now.
They know that Jaquizas saved that game. That 5K was crazy. I cannot express how insane that 5K was. Oh my gosh. Oh my. Yeah. Oh my God. I need to take a deep breath or something.
I think everybody here in the studio needs to take a deep breath. We're gonna give ourselves a second to do that. But don't go anywhere because we have a post-game interview with Speep, the flagship DPS. So we're gonna be going to that just after this.
See you guys.
Yeah.
That.
I'm here right now with Speep. We saw him on DPS getting, I mean, he was a headshot machine throughout that series, but unfortunately, as this season is coming to an end, this is going to be your last season here at UMD. I know that you've been here since the beginning. So what does it mean to you getting this championship after all of this?
It's true. I would say it does mean a lot. It means a lot. You know, I've been with these boys since Terps Esports inception. You know, from our grassroots at UMCP Gaming, and I think we worked really hard for this, and I think the timing really worked out perfectly. Thanks, Mose, for us to leave with the championship. I couldn't be prouder of our team and our coaches and our managers, everybody who helped make this happen, and yeah. Yeah,
I just gotta ask, so much going on in that last fight. What is going through your head? Is you realize that this championship you've been working so hard for is at the your fingertips if you can just win this last fight. Yeah, well, to be completely honest with you, I kind of forgot what map we were on, and I was more focused on Moose, like leaning over and touching my keyboard every couple seconds. So when I realized that people were typing GG in chat, and I realized that was Raps, I was excited. That was it. Yeah. I mean, not to say that this is the end of my personal career here, but we've got the Big Ten Esports Conference coming this weekend, and then I think we got to close out ABC, right? And Nationals, of course, and we'll just win a couple more trophies. But yeah, that's it for us. Yeah, you got to make sure that you follow this team. They're looking so strong, and they've got a couple more tournaments. Make sure it's going to be on the Ohio Twitch stream, right? I believe so, right? Yeah, the LAN this weekend. So make sure you check out for that. But that's going to be us for the studio. What an exciting match, and I'm sure that this team just wants to celebrate now after such a huge win. So say less. That's gonna be it for us here. I hope you guys all have a good night. That's gonna be us in the studio. See you guys. Thanks for having us. Job.